So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
Smalls here. If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds can turn into sinus infections that last weeks, ruining your perfect vacation getaway. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and a pharmacy, it's stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy at home. It includes prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of illnesses. So if you wake up sick, at home, or on the road, you have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, and no pharmacy lines. Also, no copays. Match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor. Start meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs a medical emergency kit, so order yours online in minutes. It's shipped right to your door. Save $45 with my promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. That's promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls.
Prescription required. Always consult your doctor to determine if this product is right for you.
ESPN New York is your home for the world champion New York Knicks. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. Bart Scott.
What the hell?
Chris Carlin.
Take a hike. We're good.
This is Bart and Carlin.
Buckle your chin strap. We about to bang.
On ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Well, it's Carlin Solo on ESPN New York on the ESPN New York YouTube channel, 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. Why are you all trying to sell me on the idea that the Jets are definitively worse than the Giants this year? I don't know that you can do that if you look at the rosters, and we will do just that. We will have plenty of football coming your way because football is coming our way, and we need to just get into it as much as humanly possible because when you talk about human things, it's inhumane to make anybody watch the Mets. It's really inhumane at this point. Like, honestly, it has gotten this bad. It has gotten to the point where at a rally yesterday in Atlanta, Brian Snitker, the former Braves manager, was there to introduce the president, or the president was introducing him. And they were talking about how bad the New York Mets are. And this is how bad it is.
You know, the Mets have the highest salary in baseball, and they lose all the time.
Extemporaneous, off the top of the head, right in the middle of it. This is where we are right now. Oh, my God. 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. I can't even do it. They're unwatchable at this point. It's not even, listen to Keith talk about the Mets and first base. I mean, this is Keith Hernandez during the game talking about first base.
It's a good defensive infield. They're a little shaky at first, but it seems like today's game, they don't give first base enough credit. Certainly the Mets don't.
Bang, bang, right there. It's coming from all angles right now. So I say all of that to say this. I don't really want to talk about them, but I will because there's only one thing that even interests me anymore. Who is actually part of the solution? And that's what I'd like to know from you at 800-919-3776. Who is going to be part of the Mets solution next season? And by that, I mean actual players on this roster. I will start with some good news, and that is with the Yankees. And the reason I call it good news, because even though you split with the Pirates yesterday, and Pirates are, respectable, what happened yesterday is what is going to madden us in general about the Yankees moving forward toward the postseason. There is an opportunity in a day-night doubleheader to see Garrett Cole go and strike out 11 hitters, to see Max Fried go and throw 5 shutout innings in his return, to see the rest of the Yankee bullpen look very, very good, although they may just sweat it out a little bit. And yet, you come away with just a split, and the nightcap was a 2-0 win that you had to sweat out later on. So it is what is a reminder of why the Yankees are dangerous in every way because of the way they pitch. And then a reminder of why it is completely frustrating. And so the solution is not even necessarily being able to find 1 or 2 bats or whomever that's going to actually make them better. The solution is, without Aaron Judge, is this actually possible? I have been trying to believe that it is. Without Giancarlo Stanton, is it actually possible? If I just got one of the 2 back, even if it was just Stanton, would it actually be possible? I'm losing faith. I'm losing faith. I want to be able to sit here and tell you that everything I have said up until this point about pitching being enough really is truth. They can hang in there as much as possible, but if they're going to lose these games 2-0 and 1-0 in the playoffs because they just cannot score, it's going to be such a waste, such an incredible waste. I've got the manager now backing up on comments that he made about whether or not Stanton was actually going to be close to coming back.
Someone actually in our front office came to me and said everyone was reporting that he's not close and this and that. And that, yeah, that's not true. Like, he's actually doing pretty well. And
okay,
I think we'll be back in a reasonable amount of time.
Okay. Now, he doesn't like doing rehab assignments in the past. He just likes the direct machine. Would this be the same?
We'll see. I mean, it's obviously been a long time, so we'll have that conversation when we get closer to that. But I think he's closer than someone in our front office game. Did you tell the media that G wasn't close? I'm like, no. I just said I don't know when it is. So I think people assume that it's going to be this long time, which I don't anticipate it's going to be too long.
That was on Talking Yanks yesterday with John Boy in his usual spot. We don't anticipate it's going to be too long, so we're backing off those comments here a little bit. Right now, you're just trying to backpedal so you don't even raise the specter of a possibility of not having guys for when the postseason rolls around, even if it's true or not true at this point. So now we're just sitting and hoping and waiting, and it's so maddening. It's so maddening to watch them pitch like that and to honestly know that even as guys like me will try to sell you on the notion that the pitching is going to be enough to carry them toward the postseason, that may not even be true. That may not even be true. And even like last night, you find out how maddened you are when you see the end of that game. The end of that game last night is on a ground out to second base to Jazz Chisholm with a runner on in a 2-0 game. And Jazz Chisholm backs up, lets the ball play him, gets caught flat-footed, and then throws to first and gets the call from the umpire. And it was so close on a play that, if it's made properly, should never be close, that it actually comes down in the challenge to not the call is confirmed, the call stands. That's how close it was. I honestly believe from watching it, it could have been overturned. And then you are leaving the door wide open. So I have guys the other day telling me about Jazz Chisholm and how he can be maybe stepping into that leadership role for the Yankees. And when stuff like that happens, no, he cannot. And here's what even annoys me a little bit more in the moment is that I'm watching that. And as you watch the replays of it, you can see Chisholm, as he gets the ball into his hand, have that blank look, because then he fires it to first as much as he can flat-footed to even make it a close play. Lucky that that's a play that goes the Yankees' way in that moment, and thus, because you can't score runs, winning in the margins becomes everything. Listen, in professional sports, it doesn't matter who you're playing. Winning in the margins is important. But we all know for some teams, it's more important than others. It's why Moneyball was invented in the first place. It was giving teams an opportunity to find value in players that were not traditionally valued. And when I see a play like that last night, it drives me up the wall to know that that can be the difference between winning a game like that and getting swept in a doubleheader by the Pirates at home. Not that the Pirates are bad, again, but enough that it's problematic for me to consider what would have been had they not caught a break. And even Jazz at the end of the game is like, they show him watching the play on the big screen. He's like, oh, he's out. He's out. Yeah. Even he can't even sell himself on that because we're all watching it, and we know that very easily could have been called safe, and that very easily could have been overturned. And then you have to sweat it out down the end of the game with first and third and 2 out. Then you are trying to find a way to get out of it with a 2-0 lead. This cannot be about winning in the margin with the Yankees. Yes, it's important to do that. Yes, it's important to make sure that you are buttoned up. But you're not trying to use in your own way the ability to take advantage of every last mistake of an opponent to win every game, or have yourselves be susceptible to that, to losing in losing a close game because you made a mistake that might be the smallest of mistakes in the moment, but because the other team is able to take advantage of it, you get taken out. That's not what the Yankees are supposed to be built around. They're supposed to be built around beating you up a little bit more offensively. That's why Cody Bellinger got $162.5 million. I had this second baseman tell me that before the year he wanted to go 50-50. How's that working out for you? This is not exactly a situation where you can feel great about their ability to win these games even when they pitch incredibly well. That's why it's so maddening to watch something like that happen last night. Yeah, even in winning, there is pain to be had, so to speak. Even in winning, there is a truth, a realization that reveals itself. And when you see it, you know it. And we all knew it watching that last night. So where are the Yankees right now in terms of how your confidence level is with the ability to win without getting Aaron Judge back or without getting Stanton back? Because I have to be completely frank about this. I don't feel great about where they are offensively, and I don't know how you can. Here's Boone, more on the offensive struggle.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta improve there. I feel like I've said that a lot here over the last month. We know we gotta produce better offensively, consistently, night in and night out. We're working to get that done. So, for us to reach our peak, we gotta get some guys going and be a more consistent attack night in and night out.
Consistent. God, that's such a tough word. It's such a tough word to be thrown around when you're talking about the New York Yankees at this point. That's absolutely brutal to even consider that it's something you can't be with this pitching staff. Even without Judge. Even without him. Is there any belief in you right now? And this is truly what I want to know. Can the Yankees actually make it to the World Series without Aaron Judge? Do you have that belief? Because we have talked ad nauseum about how bad the American League is. But is there your belief right now that the Yankees could actually make it to the World Series without Aaron Judge? Because, honestly, most of my optimism has been circled around being able to outpitch everybody. But the problem with that is, even I'm acknowledging my own flaws with my argument that I've had over the last few days, but the problem with that is at some point in a game, you actually have to score a run. And it was refreshing to see that happen with Goldschmidt and Bellinger scoring from first. But, man, it is like sweating it out when you're seeing him round third and you're just hoping and praying, even though he was able to get home without even having a slide. Is there a belief at all right now from you that the Yankees could win a World Series without Aaron Judge or could win the American League without Aaron Judge? I don't even know what to make of Stanton anymore. Because this belief has been there for me, but I won't lie. With each and every game where you have to watch the offense like that, that belief can dissipate some. I ask you that question, and I leave it to you to answer it with the lines open now at 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. Is Judge coming back enough to fix the Yankee problems? I'm going to get right to it. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to get my man Billy in the truck in on ESPN New York. Billy, what's going on?
What's going on, Carlin?
How you doing, brother?
Thanks for putting me on. I think it's possible. I think they could definitely win the ALCS. Like I keep having this deja vu with what happened with last year. Like we're gonna finish with the same record as the Rays now. We're stuck in the wild card and all this and that. But I don't want to say it's a crapshoot. Like I just say that every single year. But just the way the whole American League is, like, you know, with how decimated we've been, we're still with what, like 2 games behind the Rays. You know, it's not impossible that we.
No, it's not impossible. That's what's even more maddening about it, Billy.
That's still right. Exactly. Yeah. We'd be running away. But I want to pose a question to you real quick. Not that I think it's possible or very likely, but now what if the Yankees do that? They do win the World Series without Judge. How does that affect his legacy? How does that?
It doesn't help him.
Fit with Yankee fans after. I know. Well, does it hurt him? You think?
I think it absolutely hurts him some. It absolutely hurts him some.
Yeah, that'd be a tough look. That'd be a real tough look. But appreciate the time, Carlin.
No problem. Thanks for checking in. It's an interesting question. Consider it for a moment. How would that feel? How would you feel as a Yankee fan if you went and won the World Series this year, but Aaron Judge was not a part of it because of injury? That is kind of nuts to even really consider. But then you really start to, it's amazing to think that you could win a World Series without him, and the impressions of him as a player would actually go down, even if you won the World Series. Because last year was the first year that he started to hit in the playoffs. And that was great to see. Unfortunately, it was not enough to be a difference maker. Stanton, we know, has had his chances to be successful. How would it look even if Stanton, who, if you get 50 games a year out of Stanton now, man, that's incredibly good. I can't even say that. Like, it's an optimistic number. If you get that out of him right now, and he comes in and has a good postseason, and he comes back and he can actually play, and Judge is not back, how are Yankee fans going to feel about Judge? Listen, he's still going to be the most popular player, but I don't know how you wouldn't look at him a little bit sideways. It's a fascinating question, and I'm glad that he brought it up, because Aaron Judge has only ever been really associated on the level of Jeter as a player, what the expectations were here. Everybody has expected him to be that same level of leader, and he has. In terms of, like, in the clubhouse and on the field, he has been that kind of leader, but he has not been the same guy in the playoffs. I can't sit there and try to sell you that he has been. I honestly think that hurts the Judge brand incredibly, because think about what would happen then. You could be in a position of hoisting a championship and the captain was no part of it. I mean, listen, the if that it is just insane to begin with. But when you consider everything that he has meant to the organization, and he's about to turn 35 years old next year, how does that affect him moving forward in his spot in the Yankee pantheon? There will be people, and understandably so, who will look at Aaron Judge at that point and say, really good player, just wasn't the winner that we thought he was. Had his chances, just never got it done. And when they did get it done, they got it done without him. Like, even though it's that good of a question, I can't sit here and try to convince myself or you that that's actually possible. I believe firmly, even though doubt creeps in with every day like yesterday, that they are capable of making the World Series without him. When I watched them play the Dodgers last weekend, and the Dodgers are, let's call it what it is, not even trying that hard. I mean, Yamamoto went out there and threw goose eggs at him for 9 innings without even blinking. And the rest of it was just kind of, we'll come in and beat you. The Dodgers have that feeling about everybody. So as much as the pitching could be amazing, I still don't have the belief that they could do it. But if Judge was part of a team that won a World Series and he was part of the success, that vaults him into a different level in this town. And it doesn't make him Jeter. It doesn't make him any of those other players, but at least justifies who he is supposed to be. And that is one of those all-time greats. And certainly, if we're calling him the best player in the game overall, and you're winning without him, how does that help his brand? I almost think, not that a Yankee fan wouldn't want to win, but I almost think that that would be especially frustrating for them in winning. Damn, we didn't get it from our guy. He wasn't the reason that we won. Phil, Columbus, next, ESPN New York. Philip, what's going on?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Oh, we do well.
I got a couple doing some trade thoughts here. I got 3 of them for us. I got Jazz and money for a rise.
Wait, back up. Back up. Jazz Chisholm and who? The blank air, the dead air was a better answer than the first proposal. Give me proposal number 2.
Wells and a prospect for Jeffers.
Wells and a prospect for Jeffers. What level of prospect? Austin Wells has done nothing offensively. Nothing.
Right, but Jeffers is
he's a free agent. This is
right?
So far you're not 1 for 2, but you're fouling off a couple of pitches in the second at bat. Let's put it that way.
Okay, my third at bat is
exactly as Ray points out, hitting slightly better than Wells in that spot.
Dominguez, Warren, Volpe, and a AAA starter for Miller.
So you just want to give up nothing. Let me give you my guys who are just guys, and let me get your best players. You're that guy. Got it. You know, I used to do this thing on TikTok that was a New York sports radio caller. Don't be that guy. And that's one of those guys. I want to give you Dominguez, Wells, and a prospect, a AAA starter. And we'll get Mason Miller, who's got 3 more years of control and is the most dominant closer in baseball. Next to maybe Durant. Done. Oh, wow. Whew. Football. We need you. Guess what? We're going to really dive into a lot of it today because we've got Jason McCourty today joining us at noon. We've got Jordan Raanan with Giants Rookies reporting. We've got Rich Cimini joining us. We've got football out the yin-yang. I don't even know what it is, but it's out it on ESPN New York.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
In the Bronx, we have backups on the southbound Sheridan Boulevard by Westchester Avenue with a crash in the left lane. On the Northern State Parkway eastbound, very slow by Willis Avenue. It's an accident, left lane block. LIE at Glen Cove Road, a crash, 2 left lanes are closed. Westchester southbound Sawmill Parkway by McLean Avenue. It's an accident at Yonkers, left lane is closed. Inbound George Washington Bridge, 10-minute delays. Watch out, broken out car, left lane, a lower level mid-span. Lincoln and Holland tunnels under 5 to 10. I'm Bob Williams on 880 ESPN New York.
Hey Yankees fans, gather a group of 10 or more and take advantage of our 2026 Yankees group ticket specials. Whether you're getting together with family and friends, organizing a fundraiser, or entertaining clients, your group will love bonding over the Bronx Bombers. Start planning your 2026 group outings today. Log on to Yankees.com/groups. Call 212-YANKEES or email us at groups@Yankees.com. That's 2026 group tickets. Call 212-YANKEES or visit Yankees.com/groups today.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off and to wear a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Sponsored by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Monkey Sports, built by players for players, is your one-stop shop for hockey, baseball, lacrosse, and more. Find top-name equipment and expert in-store services like sharpening, break-ins, and relacing. Shop in-store at Monkey Sports in Farmingdale or Woodbridge or online for all the top brands. Whatever your sports, Monkey Sports gets you game ready fast. Monkey Sports, where athletes shop.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get
get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS4KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener. Like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV. But if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to you at a campsite plays acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Harry Douglas here to tell you about Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots. It's a fruity candy flavor explosion, and I mean explosion. Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots, a zero-sugar treat that's sweet tooth approved. These can take care of my candy cravings and provides a tasty caffeine kick without all the sugar. Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots. Get candy-flavored chaos with Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots, available online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon.
Carlin, ESPN New York, 800-919-3776. Wingman, 99.9% of call-ins with trade proposals are complete morons. See, that's not fair. Now, allow me to, Wingman, defend everybody else. That's over on the ESPN New York YouTube chat, where you can be a part of the show immediately. That's not fair. I would say 30% to 35% of trade proposals are not good. But don't always be that guy. Don't be the guy of, I want to acknowledge that I want to give up players that have little to no value to me and get your best player because I am the New York Yankees, and that's what I deserve. How about Joe in Columbia? Let's try this again. Hello, Joe. How are you?
Hey, Chief. Very good. How are
Cowboy. How you doing?
I'm doing outstanding. Yeah. Hey, I got a proposal for you. I don't know that much about Spencer Jones. I'm not a Yankee fan. And I'm trying not to be biased because I'm a huge Met fan. But how about Francisco Alvarez for Spencer Jones? Alvarez is hitting 250. He's got 11 home runs. It's better than what you guys got now.
No, it's not going to happen because, first of all, I don't think the Yankees would do that right now because Alvarez has disappointed. Like they don't want to, as much as Jones has his picadillos, so to speak, the Alvarez part of this, he has been nowhere near what the Mets have expected him to be. And even last year after he got sent down and then he came back up and looked like he had figured it out a little bit, he still hasn't been able to find that consistency again this year. There is more talk about the Yankees actually trying to go after a guy like Torrens than Alvarez at this point. Because if you're the Yankees, it doesn't make sense to give up that level of a prospect for someone that has been in the big leagues for a while now and really hasn't established themselves as a really good catcher yet.
All right, well, I figured it was worth a try.
Good swing. See? It's not 99.9%. It's 35%. Side note for a second. Poll. Worst thing that you could be called. Not worse. Most annoying thing you could be called. Boss. Chief. Big guy. I don't know. I like cowboy myself. I don't know. What would annoy you the most? Like when people don't know you. Hey, boss. Hey, chief. Hey, guy. What's the worst thing you can be called? Julian, like if somebody comes to you and says, how you doing there, chief? Like I know a guy who is a chief. Not like a chief of police or anything. I mean, like a guy whose nickname is Chief, but that was a nickname out of respect. because he ran the show. That's Chief. But I don't want you just calling me Chief out of nowhere.
The one I'm not a fan of is Buddy.
Buddy. Hey, Buddy.
Yeah, it's a little, makes you feel like a child.
That's true. Couple others. How about Champ? Ray, how do we feel about Champ?
Yeah, I don't know why you're going Champ. I think that's along the same line as Buddy. That's something you call like a child.
Which one would you hate the most, though? I personally, I hate Big Guy. But that has more to do with the physical ramifications.
The truth. But anyway.
Yeah. I was trying to be a little more gentle on myself, but you just, no, it has to do with the fact
I don't get it also.
You're a fat bastard, Carlin.
You know full well I get it also. But I think Boss is always the one that kind of irks me.
You know what? I will literally allow you to call in and tell me what the worst nickname is that you could be called by somebody that clearly doesn't know your name. Buddy, Chief, Bro. A lot of bros coming in. Bro's a tough one these days. Bro's got so many different connotations to it. Because, like, when you get called by Bro by Joe Beningo, that's almost a sign of affection. Like, I could deal with that. But most of the time when you get Bro, like, and I say Bro way too much. I will freely admit. I actually use brother more. But that's all, again, little more affection in what I'm trying to say at that point. Worst thing that you can be called, the poll is up on ESPN New York YouTube right now. Boss, Chief, Cowboy, Bro. Cowboy's not, I've always liked Cowboy. Nick in Levittown. Nick, what is the worst thing that you can be called, Nick?
I think the worst thing you could be called is Buddy. It just seems disrespectful.
Yeah.
You don't know me. You don't know what's going on. And you just say, "What's up, buddy?"
What's up, buddy? Yeah.
I also work in an elementary school, and a lot of my elementary students use bruh or bro.
Bruh.
And I'm like, that is not my name. We are not doing that. Yeah.
Elementary school teachers get called bruh now.
Yep.
Wow. What do you got, Nick? What's going on, bud?
I just wanted to.
I just called you bud.
I just want to get to my Yankees point. They have the best rotation in baseball for the last, over 2 years with Cole, Fried, Schlittler. Their three could be an ace on any other team. As you saw in the All-Star game, pitching dominates hitting. There was 27 strikeouts in the All-Star game, which was astronomical. So if their pitching is top tier, they're going to do very well. They need to make that move to get that one bat that could put them over the edge, be that leadoff hitter who could be on base for Rice and Judge when he comes back. And I think they can make a run at it.
Listen, I get it, but do you think they could make a run at it without Judge? That's my point. I don't disagree with you about the rotation in the least. But when we talk about making a run at it, what I'm specifically saying is, if Judge is not back, can you actually make a run at winning the American League when we go through games like yesterday, where the margins are so thin between winning and losing?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they can win the American League without their best player.
Yeah.
Without the MVP.
It is, Nick, it is, you have to admit, at least amazing that you could even consider that to be the case, that it could actually be possible. It does speak to just how good that pitching is. How about a little love for Paul Blackburn? That dude's done a nice job. Another word, dude. I used to use dude a lot. Champ, I'm getting a lot of boss in here on the chat right now. Big Dog, I call people boss man. That's from Black Metronome. Buddy is pretentious. This is also an excellent point. Son, that makes you feel childish. Sit down, son. You son somebody, we know what you're getting there. You know what one I love? If I'm looking to insult somebody for real, Junior. Somebody gets up, tries to make a point, tries to puff out the chest. Sit down, Junior, before you hurt yourself. Worst thing you can be called. Rich in Staten Island, ESPN New York. Rich, what's going on?
Hey, even more pretentious is Pal. I hate Pal.
Yeah, Pal's a tough one. Pal's a tough one. Yeah, Pal is definitely a tough one. As Haywood Wong points out, dumbass also a tough one, but that probably a little bit more direct along the Ray Deanahan milieu, if you will. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, getting on to the Yankees, there's no way they're going to make a run for the World Series without Judge. You cannot build a championship team with a 236 batting average. Can't do it. I mean, you have Wells dancing around 190, 195. You have, most of the players on that team, they're well below 250. Even Grissom and Chisholm and several of the players there, they just don't have those batting averages. I'm 65 years old. I remember even in the 70s, if you weren't batting 250, it was like you were expendable. Today,
listen, Rich, but we know how much batting average is devalued now. We understand that. It just is part of it. Now, if you want to make the argument that the Yankees could go and get somebody like Arise, just because he is a purely good hitter and is going to get on base, I would have no problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah, I just think it's too late. I think the way the team was built was defective. Even Volpe in the beginning of the year, he was dancing around 190, 195. You can't, and they were comparing him to Jeter.
But nobody, they were comparing him to Jeter when he was drafted and when he first was getting to the big leagues because they were hyping him up and he was somebody that was untouchable and you couldn't possibly ever consider trading him. Volpe is the reason that you consider trading everybody if the deal's right when it comes to younger prospects. Volpe is now no part of the Yankees' success moving forward. Can we all agree on that at this point? Volpe does not figure into the plans. But unless it's come in and pinch hit in a important situation in the postseason and get a big hit, that's the only thing that Volpe is going to really contribute in a big way to the Yankees at this point. Because otherwise, Volpe's not part of the solution. We were talking about the Mets earlier. Who's part of the solution beyond Soto? Probably a couple of the young pitchers, but Volpe is not even a consideration when we talk to guys about being part of the solution. Zuffa Boxing makes its New York City debut. That is July 26th. Live from the Infosys Theater at Madison Square Garden with a can't-miss double main event. Brooklyn's own Edgar Berlanga takes on Stephen Butler in a 10-round super middleweight showdown, plus undefeated former super lightweight world champ Richard Hitchens faces Ricardo Salas in a 12-round welterweight bout. Want to be there? ESPN New York has your chance to win tickets. Just open the ESPN New York app, find the contest tile, submit your entry. I'm trying to finish this copy before I sneeze. Don't miss this huge night of boxing brought to you by Madison Square Garden. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Got it done. Bart and Carlin, ESPN New York.
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Rick doesn't have a primary care doctor.
I don't think Alan does either.
That doesn't make it any better for you.
I actually think we use the same pediatrician.
Alan's in his mid-50s.
If you met this pediatrician, you would get rid of your primary care physician and use my pediatrician. He's that good.
Do you know what the definition of pediatrician is?
Doesn't matter.
He's not equipped at the spleen.
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
You walk out with a lollipop?
Morning Start with DiPietro and Rothenberg. Weekdays from 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Miller time. People think it just happens, but that's not true. You know what you gotta do? You gotta go say hello with some beers. Make the plans. Forget the couch. Go to that thing. Play the game. See him in person. Talk to that stranger. Live a little. Small acts of rebellion that bring us together. Because legendary moments start with a light. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2026 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles. Rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You play for the win, not just on game day, every day. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control, all on one platform. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
It's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of New Jersey is offering buy one, get one, 50% off windows and doors, and no payments, no interest for 24 months. Some restrictions may apply. See local showroom for details. Offer ends July 31st, 2026.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
NBA champion, Finals MVP, Jalen Brunson. Describe the experience of what the last month has been like for you.
That's a loaded question. It's been a roller coaster, honestly. Obviously, once we won and everything was up high and everything was amazing. The parade and all of that, just everything after we won was just amazing.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Weekdays at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Bart and Carlin, ESPN New York. Yes, Carlin, with you. 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. Jordan Raanan going to join us at the top of the hour. Giants camp is opening up, and there's been a lot of criticism of the head coach over his opening comments to his team that the team put out. And I thought, this is interesting. I'm going to play it for you in a minute. First, I'm going to get to Dennis in New Orleans on ESPN New York. Dennis, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Again, I'm calling you buddy.
Hey.
Now I'm stuck in the rut. I can't get out of it myself. Oh.
All right, so I'm going to get into one name first that I get in New Orleans all the time because I'm half Puerto Rican and I got a good tan and Migo. Oh, my God, that's the worst thing ever. I mean, it's not amigo. It's not friend. It's just Migo. Hey, what's up, Migo?
Like the band Migos?
That's really bad.
Well, not band, but
they don't mean
the
like
group.
that.
Yeah.
They're like basically saying, hey, what's up, Mexican?
Yeah, that's pretty much what they're saying. That's pretty much what they're saying. Yes. That's absolutely it.
So,
is that
I just want to give a shout out.
Never mind.
I want to give a shout. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say something that I really shouldn't say and that I would basically get in trouble for before when Bart was here, you know?
So yeah.
I have to play the disclaimer for myself. Chris just said something that Chris can't comment on. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, there you go. The other thing I want to say about the Yankees, you know what? They have such a dearth of pitching talent. And, you can lose one starter if you're going to get Rodón and Fried back in the lineup, right? So why don't you take like Rodón, who really hasn't been, somebody that Yankee fans. I'm a Mets fan, but Yankee fans have loved, and go after Mason Miller with that, and maybe a prospect.
Well, here's the problem: they don't want Carlos Rodón if they're trading Mason Miller. Rodon's making too much money. Mason Miller is making $4 million, and he's under control for the next 3 years, and he's the most dominant closer
that's amazing.
around
That's
right
amazing.
now. So,
Yeah,
we're not talking about guys who are making money right now.
Right. So then I just want to give a shout out to the Mad Backer. Can't wait to see him again, hear him again. Mm-hmm. But I think this timing is perfect for him, Ryan Clark, all these other NFL analyst guys, because it's offseason's just starting, really.
Well, I mean, listen. I understand. I understand the point you're making about it. That's looking on the bright side of it for sure. I don't think there's ever a great time for any of that to happen. But as we unfortunately know, across all industries now, this stuff is happening. But Bart's solid. Bart's good, and we're with him. He knows that. 800-919-3776. So this is what I don't understand. Is this just a case of us needing training camp to actually begin? Yesterday, the first time I saw this was tweeted out by the Giants from their own X account, and it was John Harbaugh with his opening speech to the team, at least a snippet of it.
Welcome, man. Good to see everybody here. You excited?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
A little nervous?
Nope.
Huh? A little nervous? A little nervous, man. A little nervous. Excited nervous, Nervous like you're full of game almost, man. Get this thing kick off. I'm standing up here in front of the New York Giants. The New York Giants. This is a New York Giants sitting in this room. The New York Giants. Wow. It's an honor. It's an honor to stand in front of this room right now.
Now, I think some of the dramatic pauses were taken out of it a little bit, but that's okay. You get the point. The New York Giants. So fans are actually like, oh, that fell flat. Like, guys, we need camp to begin. We really need it to get going if this is what we're looking at. Like, did anybody legitimately yesterday take that and lose any bit of faith in John Harbaugh's ability to lead this organization? Like, can you imagine John Mara watching that clip and then saying, what the hell did we do? Oh, my God. This is a disaster. We hired the wrong guy. This guy cannot inspire anyone. No, of course not. Of course not. You know what the guy's going for. Sometimes some things don't land. I don't think everybody was going to jump up and down and start screaming in meeting number 1 of the season among rookies. That's not what was going to happen. So let's not get too wrapped up in this, guys. I cannot tell you how many responses I saw to this clip on X and on social media. And people were really disappointed with that being your opening speech. Oh, my God. Not everything is going to be the Gettysburg Address. And by the way, like, I don't even know that the Gettysburg Address was the Gettysburg Address at that point. You know what I mean? Like, I would kind of like to see how that was delivered and all that. Somebody show me a little tape of that. It's an all-time great speech, obviously. But, not everything is going to be memorized as one of the great speeches ever. And getting everybody ready to run through a wall. Not everything is going to be Al Pacino in any given Sunday.
4 score. Can't just give us the numbers?
Exactly. Who are you trying to impress? So what is that? 4 score is what? Is it weeks or is that years or is it 4 score and 7 years ago? So is it 7 years and 2 weeks ago? Or what the hell is that? I don't even know.
Is the score 20 years?
Is the score 20 years? Is it 87
years? Yeah.
Is the score 20 years? Then what's 2 weeks? Is that a fortnight? That's a fortnight.
A Fortin Baugh.
No, that's the guy I go to for my gambling tips. who is in typical Joe fashion, basically the other day, he sent me a text around everything that was going on, wishing me well. And, you know, I got to take a quick look to see if I can even read it on the air or not. Just give me 1 second here.
He didn't have like odds on anybody going anywhere, right? That's not the type of thing he would bet on.
Yeah, I can't read it.
Joe, he
I'm sorry I
texted
even
something
brought it up.
humorous. Chris cannot comment.
Exactly. This was humorous, and Chris cannot comment on it. But, yeah, Joe basically was setting a Kalshi market for, you know, who I might be working with next. And in the only way that my friend Joe can pay an homage to someone, it is to lay out what the odds are on their future. And I appreciate that so, so much. 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. I have been meaning to call him to tell him that I would take the over on 4.5 wins on Rutgers this year. Yeah, it is 20 years. My bad. Fortnite is 10 days or 14 days. It's 14 days. Okay. All right, glad we got that all settled. Jordan Raanan in just moments on ESPN New York.
This is the Ty Butler Show.
Judge, I'm trying to be hopeful about his injury status, but even if he does come back, I am going to be concerned about how a man who was out for 3 months all of a sudden is going to play the next 2 months being one swing away from re-injuring that rib.
The Ty Butler Show. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 on ESPN New York and the ESPN New York app.
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
Hi, this is Don LaGreca. Just like the New Jersey Devils bring intensity on the ice, Viking Pest Control brings the same level of protection to your home. And I know because I use Viking at my own place. The season may be over, but pests are always in play. So it's time to lock in your off-season defense. As the pest control provider and proud partner of the Devils, Viking delivers 45 years of trusted experience to keep ants, cockroaches, stinging insects, rodents, mosquitoes, and more out of your zone. And when you bundle pest control mosquito services, you score big savings. One call, one company, total peace of mind. Visit VikingPest.com, protecting your home inside and out.
The 2026 New York Knicks. Basketball immortality.
It's happening, Knicks fans! It's happening! It's been 53 years!
It's over! It's over! Knicks fans, this is not a dream! Your long, long wait has ended! Go ahead and cry. After 53 years, the Knicks are finally NBA champions once again.
ESPN New York is your home for the world champion New York Knicks.
There are a million reasons to love New York. Making your budget stretch isn't one of them. According to an independent study, Amazon prices average 14% lower than other retailers. Get food, fashion, furniture, and more shipped straight to your building. That's how Prime members have saved over $2 billion on grocery and household items. Learn more at aboutamazon.com.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as... That's 888-665-0696.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46. And I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
When you manage an active facility, disruption is not an option. Tricon Construction specializes in healthcare, commercial, and industrial environments where work needs to happen without shutting operations down. That takes detailed planning, clear communication, and safe, disciplined execution. Because when patients are inside, tenants are working, or production has to keep moving, every decision matters. Tricon understands how to work around your business professionally, safely, and efficiently. For complex work inside active facilities, choose Tricon Construction. Visit triconbuilds.com. That's triconbuilds.com.
This is the Michael K. Show.
You might all disagree with me on this. 7th game of the World Series. The Yankees have to win to be champions. Every single one of their starting pitching is available. I could choose between Garrett Cole, a former Cy Young Award winner. I could choose between Max Fried, Carlos Rodón, Will Warren, Ryan Weathers, or Cam Schlittler. There's one guy on the staff that's dominant and great, and that's Schlittler.
The Michael K. Show, weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. Presented by the Parisman Firm. ESPN New York is your home for the world champion New York Knicks. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
It's going to be his home for the next 10 to 12 days, I believe, maybe longer. It is Jordan Raanan, who, of course, covers the Giants for ESPN NFL Nation, covers the Giants for us, and he is in West Virginia. Good morning, Jordan. Are you there already?
No, not yet. Not yet. Training camp starts on Tuesday, so next week. That's
so the rookies had to report over to the Meadowlands, not in New Jersey.
Yes.
Or not in
New
West Virginia yet.
East Rutherford.
Okay.
Rookies go to East Rutherford.
All right, well, you said that with a little anger in your voice, Jordan. Maybe just calm down a little bit, okay?
Hey, come on, man.
We're not. Listen, it's a long season, man, and you're already coming off with an edge. And I don't know if you've heard, it's been a bit of a tough week around these parts.
Yeah, I think you're a little sensitive right now. I think I should have taken that into account.
That might be true.
See,
how are you?
Here's my thing, though. I agree. That song makes sense, Country Roads, for when we're going to West Virginia. That makes sense. It didn't make sense with the U.S. soccer team. I get that. That was a good choice of music.
That's a great point. I don't know why that was our song. What was that all about? It was with the Mets in 2000. Why was it Who Let the Dogs Out? Honestly, what's that about?
If the final was in West Virginia, it would have made sense. We want to get to the final in West Virginia. But no, there was nothing in West Virginia.
God, if the World Cup final was in West Virginia, Jordan, jeez. Jordan, I'm not exaggerating, and I told this story last week.
Okay.
You're going to hear that song a lot here in the next few weeks, and I apologize for that to you in advance, just on behalf of the world. At one point in West Virginia, in attempting to get to a Rutgers West Virginia football game, was stuck in a cab. This was in late September, did not have air conditioning. It was 90 degrees outside, and I was stuck at a light. At the light, to my left, there was a gas station that was not paved. It was dirt. I'm not overplaying this, I swear. And there was a gentleman, roughly 275 to 280 pounds, late 50s, who was shirtless, had a pair of suspenders on. Not exaggerating, Jordan. This is not in any way just some kind of, just stereotype. And they had a karaoke machine singing that damn song on loop. Stuck at that light for 10 minutes.
Doesn't surprise me, though. I mean, I'm not stunned.
I'm not stunned either. But and I've been to West. There are a lot of great people in West Virginia. Don't get me wrong. What I don't want is people living up to the stereotype. That's all. That's all. That's what I don't want.
I hear you. I'm not saying it's much different because I don't know and I've never been there. But for anyone that's going or wants to come to the Greenbrier in West Virginia, it's nowhere near Morgantown. This is what I learned by looking on a map. We're talking about closer to Roanoke, Virginia.
So are you driving down there? Will you be driving down?
We'll be driving down with Connor Hughes.
And how long is that drive?
There's actually 4 of us. It's like 6 or 7 hours that have an Airbnb that's a quarter of a mile off the premises, apparently, of the Greenbrier. So that's the plan.
Well, this sounds like a reality show. I mean, there's the Giants reality show that they're putting out on training camp, and then I'd rather watch yours of you guys living in that Airbnb and somebody getting ticked off for not doing the dishes.
I'll give you updates.
Yeah. Jordan, let's get into some Giants talk. First of all, here's how I know we definitely need training camp to start. People were criticizing John Harbaugh for his opening speech yesterday that the Giants put out to the rookies. Your thoughts?
Yeah, kind of silly. Obviously a snippet. That's a snippet from also, what is it, March, right?
Yeah.
Now, I get it. You could be like, that's lame, that's corny. All I know is from talking to guys, that have worked with John Harbaugh, played for John Harbaugh, or are playing for John Harbaugh, one of his strengths is talking to the room, so I'm not going to make too much of it and give credence to people who think that it's corny and nobody's, going to relate to that. He has gotten the attention of the locker room. I promise you that. It's one of the first things you hear from guys, that he has a direct message every time he goes in there, and guys are listening and locked in. So, that's where I stand on that.
All right, so let's start with the quarterback because that's where we always start. And with Jaxson Dart at this point, Jordan, off of year one, I asked this question the other day. Do you believe that the Giants already have their guy in place, or does year two really establish that Jaxson Dart in a new offense is going to be their guy for the long term and thus removing any future decisions about the draft next year or beyond?
I just think from talking to people in the organization, they fully believe that they have the guy in place. Now, I don't think we know if he's the guy that's going to lead him to a championship or he's a top 5 type of guy, top 10 type of guy. I think we know they at least have a competent quarterback, but the Giants fully believe they have that guy. And all you need to do is just think about it, Chris. When John Harbaugh had opportunities, right, he had options of where he could go, right? He basically had his choice of for the most part, teams that he wanted to, potentially land with. And he chose the Giants in large part. He did his research. They were going over the tape, his dad as well. And they loved what they saw in Jaxson Dart. And nothing he's seen so far, and one of the words that in my conversations with him that he used was obsessed, right? Jaxson Dart is obsessed with being great and winning. Like, that's what John Harbaugh wants. He wants guys that are interested and love football. And so that makes him what he believes the perfect fit. And the Giants believe he's going to be a super high-end quarterback in this system. Yeah, it may take some time. They're still developing the system, but there's a lot of different things that Jaxson Dart can do, and they're going to cater to him and create an offense. So I do believe they have their quarterback long-term. I don't believe we know just what level he's going to be. He's going to have to become better in the pocket and delivering passes on time and in rhythm in order to be that Super Bowl winning quarterback I think that everybody wants.
Jordan Raanan with us, covering the Giants for ESPN New York and ESPN NFL Nation. With Dart, Jordan, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's watching the offseason, seeing him with Scatterboo, and I've been very critical of the Scatterboo stuff. How do we feel about the maturity level of Jaxson Dart overall?
I think he's a young guy who's learning also. Sure, I mean, the whole introducing Donald Trump thing, I think, was an eye-opener for him. He's got to learn that, that all eyes are on him And I think the same holds true for Cam Scatterbo. Now, whether they, grow and learn from it, we'll have to see. That's like a wait and see. But they're young guys who are living their life, and they're enjoying everything that's thrown at them. And there's been opportunities galore that's thrown at them. And I don't begrudge guys for doing that. But you also have to realize with that comes a different level of attention and scrutiny than they've probably ever seen before. And if you don't have success, you're going to really feel the wrath of that, right? And I think that's what they have to realize. So we'll see. We don't know. I don't think anybody knows for sure how much it has resonated with them or how much they really understand the situation they're in. But hopefully this offseason and this, last few months here was an eye-opener.
Jordan, let's get to a couple of the rookies in particular, the 2 first-rounders. Number 1, Francis Maui-Noa. He slots in at guard, I would assume, to begin. Is he starter day 1 for the Giants?
He's a starter day 1 for the Giants. Already is basically at right guard. Yeah, I believe that's like a done deal. Something would have to happen there for him not to start at right guard.
And as far as Arvell Reese is concerned, different teams had different plans for him. So what do the Giants plan on doing with him in employing him in their defense?
He is an inside linebacker. That's what the Giants said when they drafted him. That's where they played him exclusively, basically, in the spring. I do think, and this defense is similar to the one Wink Martindale ran, right? Mm-hmm. It is interchangeable parts, and so we're going to see him do different things. But, yeah, he's an inside linebacker. We'll see him rush a lot from there, but he's definitely an inside linebacker.
So as you look at the rookies, if you had to pick not just the first-round picks, but out of the group, who are the couple that you would expect to make the biggest impact? Is it Maui-Noa right away?
Probably. I'm interested to see, and I think that's something that we're going to find out in training camp, is how they fully plan to utilize Arvell Reese and how much can you really get out of that weak side linebacker spot. I think it's a fair question. I'm intrigued to see what they have planned, if they move him around. But that makes it, Maui-Noa, I think immediately he can be a significant asset, especially in the run game. And that's, to me, the biggest improvement for the Giants this offseason is they, in their offensive line, and I'm including him, and I'm talking on the run side, and then Patrick Ricard, fullback, but yeah, that's a big part of their run game, right? So the two of them adding to an offensive line that already has Andrew Thomas, Jermaine Luminor, John Michael Schmidt, John Runyon, I think adding a big physical guard in Maui-Noa, which I think is what he at least immediately can transition as, is a huge benefit and bonus to this offense. And I know it's scary to think about, Chris, but how about this? I think their offensive line is actually the strength of the offense and maybe even the team right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Lay out your case.
They were pretty good last year, and if you're adding an upgrade at right, last year right guard was Greg Van Roten, who was serviceable and okay, but I think if you add Maui-Noa and he ends up being, even if he's just a high-end run blocker as a rookie and he struggles a little bit as in pass protection, which could be the case, it's hard to be a rookie offensive lineman and go back and pass protect, and you're adding Patrick Ricard too, I think that's a top end of the league offensive line, and especially in regards to being able to run the ball. I think they could be pretty good at that, and that's what John Harbaugh wants, big physical team, run the football. I think they're pretty good there. Like, who's the weak spot? I mean, JMS, John Michael Schmitz, he's been an okay center, but he's gotten better. So the floor for him is probably average, right? John Runyon too, same thing, but I mean he's played at a higher level before. So if Maui-Noa is that guy, I don't think they have a below average guy in that line. And as long as Andrew Thomas is there and you have an all-pro there, I think that's a really good group as a whole.
Jordan Raanan with us, covering the Giants. He's headed to training camp next week down in West Virginia. Rookies report today. Jordan, with Malik Neighbors at this point, We had the secondary procedure. I'm not going to ask you when is he going to come back because nobody knows. Is the bigger concern for the Giants not when he comes back, but if he's going to be hamstrung at all when he does come back? What is this going to look like, and are there long-term effects from this procedure last year and then the follow-up cleanup procedure?
Yeah, I think that's a fair question, and that's going to be the question in the summer is what does he look like when he does get back? And is he able to just immediately return to what everyone is thinking about when talking about Malik Neighbors? Now, I will say this about where everything is at right now. Like, nobody knows exactly when he's going to be back in regards to playing in games. But John Harbaugh said recently on the Dominique Foxworth podcast that there's optimism, right? And I'll actually say this. I'm not expecting Malik Neighbors to even be put on PUP at the start of training camp right now. Like, I think there's a strong possibility that Malik Neighbors is kept off PUP, which is obviously a good sign. What that means and how much he's going to do, we'll have to wait and see. But I don't know how you look at that and think that that's not a positive sign heading into training camp, that he's going to at least be probably doing something pretty early in training camp.
I mean, that is a little bit encouraging, to say the least, if he does stay off of PUP. But go to the rest of the receiver position. Is there handicap for me Odell Beckham's odds of making this roster?
He needs to earn his spot on the roster. Right now, I would say he's probably the sixth guy. There's five guys that I think that have roster spots that the Giants are looking at, assuming they're healthy. Neighbors, Darnell Mooney, Darius Slayton, Malachi Fields, and Calvin Austin. And then there's that next group, and it's Odell, Juju, Isaiah Hodgins, Braxton Berrios, who, by the way, I don't know if you saw the video. My wife told me about it also, is excellent at identifying female makeup equipment. Did you happen to see this?
I did not see this, but I can imagine why he would know that.
This is the range that Braxton Berrios has.
Yes. Well, I mean,
dated Alex Earl.
How long were he and Alex Earl together? Like 2 years?
Yeah.
I would think he would have picked up a tip or two.
Yeah, I mean, it was impressive. I think he went 11 for 11. Yeah, so it was impressive. And these are things that, by the way, I had no idea ever existed.
No, are you talking about are you talking about like makeup, actual, what makeup is, or like the different tools? Because like those things that they use on the not on the eyebrows, but on the lashes.
Yeah,
that thing. That thing always freaks me out.
Yeah, they're like the jaws of life for your face, basically.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically those and rollers and something that looked like it was for your foot. Like, I don't know. He was impressive. I'll tell you that much. If you're impressed by random facts of knowing female products, yeah, he was very impressive.
Every
he's
time
part
I
of that
see,
mix. By the way, back to wide receivers, he's part of that mix. But I would say Odell, as we stand, is probably the favorite. The question I have with Odell, and I think the Giants have with Odell, and John Harbaugh was blatantly honest with him at the start of camp, right? I mean, when he signed in spring, sorry. He's going to have to earn his spot. Like, nothing's going to be given to him, and a big part of that is he's going to have to stay healthy. We're going to have to see what his body has left in him. The reality is he hasn't played much in 2 years. He's had 2 torn knees and a broken leg already in his career, so there's a lot of wear and tear on his body. How does he hold up, I think, is the big question with Odell.
Jordan Raanan with us covering the Giants. Defensively, Jordan, they couldn't stop a nosebleed last year when it came to the run game. They traded away their best run defender. Is coaching enough to change that this season?
We will have to wait and see. That's a big ask. Talent wins out in this league usually. To me, they're still shorthanded and thin on the defensive front. I think that could be a big problem. Now, one way to mask it is, hey, all we need you guys to do is hold up blocks a little bit. If Arvell Reese is what the Giants think he is, if Tremaine Edmonds returns to what he was, at the beginning of last year in Chicago, that's going to determine how good the defensive front and the run defense specifically is going to be. But I don't think you can do it with just coaching. It's not that easy. You can mask it a little bit, but I would be surprised if they can mask it fully and enough if they're not getting Tremaine Edmonds and Arvell Reese playing at really high levels.
Last one. Do you feel this way? Back to Alex Earl and the whole tools thing that she uses for makeup and stuff. I don't know about you. Every time I'm in the car with my wife and she uses that thing on her lashes to like extra curl them, I'm afraid I'm going to hit a bump and blind her. Has that ever Does that ever come across your mind?
Not specifically, because my wife and daughter do a good job of not doing that in the car, but I could see how that is a problem. I mean, those things are scary looking. I sit there and, like, when I go in my daughter's room, they're just, like, sitting on the desk. You just, like, you're playing with them, and you're like, man, these things look like they could, cut off my finger. And I'm like, wait, what is this? And, yeah, it's definitely a dangerous tool.
Interesting that you would choose to criticize my wife in that spot. Thank you for that.
I didn't criticize your wife.
It kind of did. There was a little. Well, I mean, they do a good job of not doing that in the car. My wife and my daughter. They know what to do.
I don't know why. I didn't say it's a bad thing to put on makeup in the car. I actually think that's the norm. For some reason, my wife and daughter don't do it.
I swear to God, I can only hope that on that 7-hour trip to West Virginia with Connor Hughes and other giant reporters, that you have a planes, trains, and automobiles type situation, and somebody has to say, those aren't pillows.
No, we're going to do a makeup review, since we're two TV reporters, a makeup review on the ride down to West Virginia. We'll do like an Alex Earl, Braxton Berrios type Instagram reel or something. How about that?
Yeah, I would say no. Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate it. Jordan Raanan, ESPN New York, ESPN NFL Nation, covering the Giants. I have really been trying to figure out why, and you've heard me over the last few weeks discuss this, why there is this automatic assumption that the Giants are going to be better than the Jets because they have a better roster. If you want to tell me that the Giants are going to be better than the Jets because the coaching is going to make a huge difference right away, and they have that first-year coach bounce, yeah, I can absolutely buy that, especially with Harbaugh coming in. Harbaugh had to be the guy, and I have full faith and belief in his ability to restore the honor of this organization. Full faith in that to happen over the long haul. But in the short term, why exactly am I supposed to definitively believe that the Giants are better than the Jets? Because when I look at what the rosters are, I'm sorry, guys, like the Jets have a better roster top to bottom than the Giants do. We can talk about the quarterback thing, but I think if we're all being very fair about it, you can't say with 100% confidence that the Giants have a decided advantage at quarterback. They don't. They have an advantage, but there are still a lot of questions to be answered. I am not a big believer in Geno Smith. And I understand how important the quarterback spot is. But I also understand where Geno was last year. And listen, I did a couple of the Raider games last season, and I saw him up close and personal, and I saw what the problems were. And dear God, he looked absolutely terrible at times. But if I'm going to sit there and say that about Geno, I also have to be fair with the fact that he had one of the worst offensive lines in football, and the fact that he had Chip Kelly as his offensive coordinator, who got fired basically in the middle of the season. That was a complete disaster. So is Geno actually going to be closer to the Geno that we saw in Seattle than the Geno that we saw last year in Vegas? I think the answer to that is probably yes. But I won't sit here and try to sell you that Geno is better than Jaxson Dart. But what we are going to do is take you through these teams and make your case as to why the Giants are definitively going to have a better season because they have a better roster. Because, frankly, that can't be the reason. Like, you want to talk about other teams getting bad breaks, the Giants having a lot of one-score victories like they did in year one under Brian Daboll. I mean, maybe you could try to sell me on that. But we're already talking about the fact, well, they damn well better be 2-2 through the first 4 games. Because after those first 2, we expect them to be 0-2. And then the next couple of weeks, you got gimmies. Or at least what should be gimmies. Here's what we don't take into account. What we believe should be gimmies, other teams look at the opponents and say, you know what? That's a game we might be able to win. The Tennessee Titans will look at the Giants and say, yeah, they were a bad team last year. That's a game we might be able to win. Now, I don't think the Cardinals are going to look at them and say that, but it's already, we better be 2-2 through the first 4. Because beyond that, listen, Giants are going to be 7, 8, 9 win, 10 win teams. Where is the evidence of that from a personnel standpoint? We are going to take you through some of the rosters without getting into the nitty-gritty too much. Some portions of these rosters and show you exactly why it is that the Jets have a markedly better roster than the Giants do right now. 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. I put it to you, though. If you're a Giant fan, are you expecting the Giants to be better than the Jets right away? And do you believe they have a better roster? Because I do not. I do not. I know where the biggest advantage for these two teams is right now. It's in coaching. Okay? It's with what Harbaugh has done versus what Aaron Glenn has done. And obviously it's incredibly important. But if you want to go into the rosters, take that somewhere else because you can't sell me on that. Get on the lines at 800-919-3776. Leave your comments over on the ESPN New York YouTube channel where you can watch the show and see me in all of my glory.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
That's ESPNNewYorkContests.com. Mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg.
If the Giants start out the season 0-3, forget it.
What's going to happen to 65 or sooner?
Well, kill it.
It's a little adversity.
You have a 5-year plan that after 3 weeks you're going to punt on.
Yeah, I can't handle 0-3 again.
Maybe it's a 10-year plan.
70 or sooner.
But that's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. No, how could it?
No, it's not going to.
DiPietro and Rothenberg. Morning 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
When care matters most, experience matters more. The Allure Group is redefining rehabilitation and long-term care across New York with 6 convenient locations. Their expert clinicians create personalized care plans to help you recover, rebuild, and get back to what matters most. From short-term rehab to long-term care, Allure is committed to comfort, dignity, and results. To learn more, visit allurecare.com. The Allure Group, where care meets compassion.
This is a test of the emergency alert system.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
When you manage an active facility, disruption is not an option. Tricon Construction specializes in healthcare, commercial, and industrial environments where work needs to happen without shutting operations down. That takes detailed planning, clear communication, and safe, disciplined execution. Because when patients are inside, tenants are working, or production has to keep moving, every decision matters. Tricon understands how to work around your business professionally, safely, and efficiently. For complex work inside active facilities, choose Tricon Construction. Visit triconbuilds.com. That's triconbuilds.com.
D'Agostino Law Bite Back. This is John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates, and I know how a serious accident can change your life just like that.
I'm Jenna D'Agostino, and I understand that with pain comes medical bills and time out of work. Let us get you justice.
This is John Ryan, the closer. For over 35 years, our family has been getting accident victims every dollar they deserve.
I started this firm for the injured so they can bite back against the insurance companies.
Our legacy is to get you justice. Bite back.
To get you paid, bite back.
At D'Agostino & Associates, bite back means fight back. When you're hurt and they blame you, we bite back and get you every dollar you deserve. We have offices throughout New York and New Jersey, so call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. 1-800-248-3222. I've been there, and I'll be there for you.
In sports, the tape never tells the whole story. Hiring is no different. AI can make candidates look like an MVP on paper, so knowing the person and the skills behind the resume matters. That's where Robert Half changes the game. Our recruiters combine their expertise with award-winning AI to evaluate skills and fit quickly. Learn how we can find you specialized talent in finance, accounting, technology, and more. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
Oh no, I dropped my lip balm in the water. I can't think of anything worse than the looming threat of potentially having chapped lips. Ah, it was ginger vanilla, too. My favorite flavor.
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
Carlin, ESPN New York. What, Julian?
Sometimes you got to take a shot in the dark.
That's
on
a
the
fair point.
songs.
Solid. Solid.
Didn't know what I was clicking.
I will never... Turn it up! Turn it up. I will never, ever, 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 ever criticize you for taking a swing. Oh, my God. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. 800-919-3776. The New York Red Bulls take on Orlando City SC Saturday, August 1st at Sports Illustrated Stadium with kickoff set for 7:30 p.m. Celebrate Hometown Heroes Night with Red Bull New York and be among the first 10,000 fans for an exclusive beach towel giveaway. For your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets, enter now at ESPNNewYork.com or through the ESPN New York app. Don't miss Julian Hall and Antoine Griezmann when the Red Bulls host Orlando City SC Saturday, August 1st. Secure your seats at NewYorkRedBulls.com. Bart and Carlin, ESPN New York. How about some audio files? Hit it.
The audio file.
All right, take you through them here. We've got some interesting cuts. First of all, I want to go back to this. For some reason, with the opening of Giants training camp early next week and then the rookies reporting to the Meadowlands today, John Harbaugh is getting criticized for this clip that was put out by the Giants social media staff as promotion for their Giants off-season behind-the-scenes show that they will put out.
Welcome, man. Good to see everybody here. Excited?
Yes, sir. Yeah, very.
A little nervous?
Nope.
Huh? A little nervous? A little nervous, man. Nervous? Excited nervous, you know? Nervous like you're full of game almost, Mason. Get this thing kick off. Standing up here in front of the New York Giants. The New York Giants. This is a New York Giants sitting in this room. The New York Giants. Wow. It's an honor. It's an honor to stand in front of this room right now.
Oof. Oof. So I get it. Now, people are getting on him because they don't feel goosebumps when they hear that as the opening statement to his team. Guys, can we all just lighten up? Oh, my God. Not every speech is going to be a run-through-the-wall speech. And as we talked to Jordan about earlier, it's very clear that speaking to the team is not ever going to be a problem for John Harbaugh. Yet, we're all out there looking for something. Like, somehow, that is supposed to have us really annoyed with what John Harbaugh is going to be as a head coach because of that. Like, that was fine. It was fine. Just because he said the New York Giants dramatically 4 different times? Okay. Yeah. Lighten up, people. All right. Next, little bit of baseball. I don't know if you watched the Mets at all this year or if you haven't paid attention. They're really bad. They have not been a good baseball team in any way. And part of the problem has been the discussion around run prevention, or at least what they tried to sell us on before the season started. Well, with that in mind, yesterday we saw Brett Beatty in right field completely misplay a fly ball right into a triple for Joey Ortiz, who fell a home run short of the cycle in the Brewers' win over the Mets. Certainly the defense, we know, with Pete Alonso at first base was something that was emphasized in his departure in the offseason. And, of course, the defense has been even worse, especially at that position. Here is Keith Hernandez yesterday on SNY talking about the defense.
It's a good defensive infield. They're a little shaky at first, but it seems like today's game, they don't give first base enough credit. Certainly the Mets don't.
This is just Keith, and it's amazing, Keith, when it just comes right off the tip of the tongue with no filter whatsoever in that moment, and how annoyed he gets by all of this. And it's clearly, you know, Pete, I believe, worked with Keith some at first base a couple of times in spring training. But in general, it's aggravating to somebody like that in particular to watch the defense be as bad as it is. And when Keith can get that annoyed and just let it fly, it tells you where they are. What I really want to know is what actually becomes part of the solution. Who is part of the solution for the Mets when you're looking at pieces on the roster beyond Juan Soto? Because, guys, that list is pretty short, and we'll get to that throughout the course of the rest of the show. Then there was this. At a rally down in Georgia yesterday, President Trump was about to introduce Brian Snitker, who is the former Braves manager. And the president had this to say.
You know, the Mets have the highest salary in baseball, and they lose all the time.
I mean, they just can't even find their way out of the purview of the president at this point. They're just getting shots left and right. And unfortunately, they have brought it upon themselves at this point. Back to the Yankees for a moment. Aaron Boone. This is on Talking Baseball yesterday. John Boy. We know Jimmy O'Brien. Those guys do an amazing job. Love John Boy. And we should actually get him on soon because I haven't even thought about doing that lately. I'd love to talk to him about the Yankees. But with Boone in particular, he does a weekly spot or a somewhat semi-regular spot with those guys. And there had been much made of Giancarlo Stanton. And whether or not Boone had hinted recently that Stanton was nowhere close to potentially returning.
Someone actually in our front office came to me and said everyone was reporting that he's not close and this and that. And that's not true. Like, he's actually doing pretty well. And
okay.
I think we'll be back in a reasonable amount of time.
Okay. Now, he doesn't like doing rehab assignments in the past. He just likes the direct machine. Would this be the same?
We'll see. I mean, it's obviously been a long time, so we'll have that conversation when we get closer to that. But I think he's closer than someone in our front office game. Did you tell the media that G wasn't close? I'm like, no. I just said I don't know when it is. So I think people assume that it's going to be this long time, which I don't anticipate it's going to be too long.
So if that's the case, when he says, I don't anticipate it's going to be too long, I personally would take that to mean within 2 to 3 weeks. Is it unreasonable to say that? When he says, I don't think it's going to be too long? I mean, Stanton's been out as long as he has already. We're going to see him before the end of August? I would certainly think so. We're sitting here now on July 23rd. If not too long means 3 weeks. And I think that's being generous. That's mid-August. Guys, we can, downplay Stanton and his importance as much as we want and how Judge is the much more important piece, and of course he is. But let's not forget that the dude is still going to be a presence in that lineup if he is in there as the DH and able to play 4 to 5 times a week in that capacity. He is still somebody that they have to be concerned about, and as much as you might, well, frankly, hate Stanton, because a lot of fans have for a long, long time, there's no way to look at him and think that he can't make a difference, especially as good as he's been in the playoffs before. So if I were you, I would probably put a little bit more, I don't want to say put more stock in his ability to help them out. I don't want to say faith, but I would say just at least put a little bit more hope in the possibility that he could help them out more if the manager is making sure to come out and clarify that, no, it's not all that long. Meanwhile, they did split the doubleheader yesterday with the Pirates. And this is a cut that I'm going to play from Aaron Boone talking about the offense and the offense's struggles because they won 2-0 last night. Max Fried gave them 5 shutout innings. Their bullpen was terrific. And they finally scored later thanks to Goldschmidt delivering. And then they, of course, lost the earlier game, so they split the doubleheader with the Pirates. And the common theme remains the same.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta improve there. I feel like I've said that a lot here over the last month. We know we gotta produce better offensively, consistently, night in and night out. We're working to get that done. So, for us to reach our peak, we gotta get some guys going and be a more consistent attack night in and night out.
Offensively, the Yankees have been a disaster this season. We know this. We know that they have not. And disaster in Yankee terms, I should clarify. They have gone, I believe it is now 29 or 30 games where they have scored more than 5 runs once. Wow. That is amazing. Unfortunately, that cut from Aaron Boone, I could have played that from, let's see, probably June 15th, June 30th, July 1st, July 15th, or today on July 23rd, and it would have been exactly the same. Exactly the same. And it gives me pause when I want to be as optimistic as I have been in a bad American League with the great pitching that they have, that the offense has been so bad for them in big situations that they could actually lose playoff games 1-0, 2-0, 2-1 because they just cannot score. I mean, the pitching is how you win in the postseason, but you need a little bit of help. Bart and Carlin, ESPN New York, 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. We continue with you. The phone lines are open now. to answer the following questions. Is it really, really, really a given that the Giants are going to be better than the Jets this year? Because an awful lot of people seem to be operating under that, and we're going to explain why it should not be. Why the Jets, in fact, have a better roster than the Giants. And answering the question, who is actually part of the solution on the Mets? 800-919-3776. And as far as the Yankees are concerned, is yesterday more of a frustration in watching what they can be as opposed to more of an encouragement? 800-919-3776. But also, a much easier way to be a part of the show as well is over on the ESPN New York YouTube channel, where you can be a part of the show by simply commenting in the column. And I will read them, and I will deem which ones are worthy of being mentioned on the air.
Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parrisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parrisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. At Rings End, they're there to help realize your modern design visions. That's why they partner with Marvin. Engineered for big ideas, Marvin modern windows and doors deliver effortless elegance, expansive views, and industry-leading innovation, all in a modular system designed to meet the exacting principles of modern architecture. Experience Marvin Modern at a Rings End showroom today and create something stunning with them. Rings End is a certified Marvin installing retailer.
53 years in the making.
A playoff run that'll go down in history, and a team that will live forever.
The drought is over. The Knicks have their championship.
Next stop, the Canyon of Heroes. The New York Knicks are NBA champions.
ESPN New York is your home for the world champion New York Knicks.
Okay, all signed up. Easy. Now let's run payroll. What the? Hey girl, I'm you with more gusto. Nice. Who's that? New social media manager, hired and onboarded with gusto. And spoiler, we're kind of famous now. Wait, we're famous? Oh, well, I'm famous. Payroll, benefits, and HR. Designed and built for small businesses. Choose a future with gusto.
Drip Drop is doctor-developed, proven fast hydration that helps your body and mind work better. Trusted by firefighters, medical professionals, and over 90% of top college and pro sports teams. Drip Drop is engineered to hydrate faster and more effectively than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. Stock up now at dripdrop.com and use promo code RADIO20 for 20% off your first order. That's dripdrop.com, promo code radio20.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Spark on the YouTube chat. I don't get it. The Giants have done nothing to anyone. It's not like they claim to be a top 10 team like some other teams do, yet people hate on them so blanking much. I don't care how he speaks to them as long as they produce on the field. That's all that matters. That's Spark talking about the John Harbaugh clip from that was put out by the team when he was speaking to the team for the first time in the offseason, and how uninspiring it was. Really was not that big of a deal. But people are getting all worked up because it's not one that made you want to run through the wall right away. Like, guys, we have got to lighten up and just get through camp. Now, on the flip side, there are a lot of people, Giant fans especially, who are just making this giant assumption, so to speak, that they're going to be better than the Jets because their roster is better. And I can't necessarily agree with that at all. We'll get into more of that here in the next 3 minutes. Frank in Syosset, though, is up on ESPN New York. Hello, Frank. What's going on, dude?
Hi, thanks for taking my call, Chris. Just one question that's frustrating to me with the Yankees. I don't understand why they don't put Rice behind the plate. I've been calling for it since before the season started. It's not the days where you're crashing into the catcher anymore. I don't know why they want to protect this guy. Batters, bounce balls off their feet, off their ankles. He can get a little nicked up. The kid's tough. I just thought you're eliminating one dead bat, at least Wells, out of the lineup. They can't afford Deadwood at the bottom of the lineup at this stage of the game, at least for the next couple of months, Chris. I don't know if you agree with it, but, I mean,
Frank, if it was something that they were really going to do, with this in particular, with everything that is involved in that job, it's something that has to be done in training camp, in spring training. It can't be done midseason. You can't say, I'm just going to throw you behind the plate. With all of the different things that come with being a catcher, learning the pitchers, and learning what they like to do in different sequences and all of that, I cannot, for a moment, and learning how they like me to receive the ball, I cannot for a moment throw a guy that's hit 30 home runs, that has been a kind of an offensive savior in a lot of ways, in as much as the Yankees have really still not done enough offensively, and then put him behind the plate, because I fear what I'm doing is potentially taking away his offense. Like, do I then get him, do I take away the best part of him by asking him to do something he hasn't done all year long?
Yeah, fair point, Chris. You have a point there. Can I comment on the Giants? I agree with you with the Giants. They lost Dexter Lawrence. They couldn't stop the run last year. Their secondary, was an issue with pass coverage. It's a wait and see with the Giants. I don't see where they improved other than the head coach. I know they acquired a bunch of wide receivers. We'll see what they come to be. But as of now, I don't see how the run stoppage has gotten any better. I don't see how the pass coverage has gotten any better. Thanks for the time, Chris.
What you're counting on with the Giants on defense and stopping the run is coaching. You're counting on the Giants coaching to really take that to the next level. Now, when we're talking to Jordan about this, of course, with most things, talent wins out, right? Especially in the NFL. There is a mentality that coaching can instill when it comes to stopping the run, in particular. It's one thing when you're getting beat all over the place and technique and all that in stopping the pass. And technique is exceptionally important in stopping the run as well. Details are important in every way defensively. But I don't want to I really don't want to downplay the role that coaching can have in stopping the run, because I do think a coach can set a tone with that there can be improvement there. Listen, they were awful in stopping the run last season. They were just awful. Anything is truly an improvement at this point, right? As bad as it was. But if DJ Reader is somebody that you feel confident can slide in and at least not be Dexter Lawrence, but be a poor man's Dexter Lawrence, even off of a bad year last year for Lawrence, then I'll buy in a little bit. But I don't think there's enough there to convince me that it's better. The Giants' defensive line, and especially in the interior, there's nothing that's going to convince me that it's something you can't run on. Not in any way. And I know that they can be dynamic at rushing the passer, but we still actually have to see that. Burns is a dynamic pass rusher. Abdul Carter? What are we going to do this year, bruh? Honestly, I just used the word bruh. Come on. I thought I was better than this, because like earlier in the show, all I'm doing is complaining about how you can be called bub. By the way, bub, very underused if you're going to call somebody a nickname. Buddy, pal, bruh. I'm like saying, what's the worst thing that you can be called? Personally, I hate big guy. Have always hated it. That's more of a fat thing than anything else, but you get the point. And I just used the word bruh. So I apologize. Anyway, pass rushing with Abdul Carter, like, we better see it. Kayvon Thibodeau, what am I supposed to believe at this point? Like, he's already shown me who he is, and that is nowhere near the player that I thought I was getting. Arvell Reese is a middle linebacker, I think, or is a middle linebacker or a weak side linebacker. I love him. He's a dynamic player. Can he do all the things that you need to do in the NFL to play that position? That'll be very interesting to see. But when we're still talking about a lot of the same guys in the secondary with Holland and Newbin and Adebo and Deonte Banks and, all right, Greg Newsome may be a little bit improved, but you get the point. I don't know why I'm supposed to think this Giants defense is going to be that much better, or the Giants roster as a whole is definitively better than the Jets. 800-919-3776 NFL. The season is right around the corner. At least training camp is. Mercifully, dear God, just get here already, will you? We will discuss with Jason McCourty next. ESPN New York.
It's summertime, so why are you still living with pain? If you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or nerve pain, don't wait any longer. Call Dr. Jay Shaw at Soundwell Pain. He's Ivy League trained, double board certified, no surgery, no long recovery, no relying on pain medication. Just non-surgical image-guided treatments that help you get your life back. With offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, and most major insurances are accepted. Help is close. Go to SoundwellPain.com. Feel better this summer, not someday.
Hey, Yankees fans! Join us at Yankee Stadium on Friday, August 21st, as the Yankees take on the Toronto Blue Jays. And don't miss Cody Bellinger Bobblehead Night, presented by T-Mobile. The first 18,000 guests through the gates will take home an exclusive Cody Bellinger bobblehead. Get here early, grab the giveaway, and cheer on the Bronx Bombers. Tickets are available now at Yankees.com/tickets.
Monkey Sports, built by players for players, is your one-stop shop for hockey, baseball, lacrosse, and more. Find top-name equipment and expert in-store services like sharpening, break-ins, and relacing. Shop in-store at Monkey Sports in Farmingdale or Woodbridge, or online for all the top brands. Whatever your sports, Monkey Sports gets you game ready fast. Monkey Sports, where athletes shop.
We are moving now.
Electric bikes are everywhere. They are quiet and very fast. Teens ride them on the roads, in bike lanes, but also in places they should not be, like sidewalks and parks.
Look out!
When you ride, wear a helmet. Don't speed. Watch out for pedestrians and cars. New York State and your community have specific rules for electric bikes. Follow them. Go to trafficsafety.ny.gov for more info. A message brought to you by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Empower. Pete's back on the links with all new golf clubs and hopefully less swearing.
Dang, sliced it.
He worked with Empower to help him get good at money so he can be a little bad.
Heads up!
Oof. Talent sold separately.
Guy said these were slice proof.
At least he has money for lessons. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
There are a million reasons to love New York. Making your budget stretch isn't one of them. According to an independent study, Amazon prices average 14% lower than other retailers. Get food, fashion, furniture, and more shipped straight to your building. That's how Prime members have saved over $2 billion on grocery and household items. Learn more at aboutamazon.com.
ESPN New York, now streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe today and watch the show. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Mercifully, the football season is approaching. It's Carlin on ESPN New York, ESPN New York YouTube channel, 800-919-3776. Go over there. Make sure that you are a part of the program by contributing in the ESPN New York YouTube chat. Jason McCourty, ESPN NFL analyst, joins us right now to talk about football. You've clearly enjoyed your offseason. You do tremendous work with Devin, with Sickle Cell Foundation, and everything that you guys have done. But, I mean, you have to be ready. No? You have to be ready.
I am, but, like, there's always, I think you're forever scarred as the end of July starts to roll around. Like, I was on Get Up this week, Monday and Wednesday, and First Take, and we're doing the pulse, and we're like, the training camp stops, and it's like, this team starts Saturday, this team starts Tuesday, and, like, right away I get PTSD. Like, I start getting flashbacks of having to report to training camp and saying bye to your family and not seeing them, staying in a hotel room, and it's just like someone's trying to pull me in the room. Like, I don't want to go. So there's always this time of the year. It's a little scary as training camp rolls around.
Worst feeling, first day of school coming up or first day of training camp coming up?
Oh, by far first day of training camp. School, like, I had my outfit picked out, what shoes I was going to wear, the whole thing. Like, you can make up in your head about it was going to be cool to see all your friends. You was going to start the school off the year with a brand new girlfriend. You had to impress her on day one. There were no positives about training camp. I didn't care about seeing my teammates. I could have FaceTimed them. I don't want to do the conditioning test. I'm tired of hearing coach speak. So 100% first day of training camp, the worst.
Okay, what is the if you could take one thing away from it from a negative perspective, the worst thing about training camp?
You don't get to sleep in your own bed.
Yeah.
Like, during the COVID season when they let us stay at home, it felt like a brand new thing was created when it came to training camp. If I could just sleep in my bed, it would make it 100% better, because that's the hardest part. And then obviously the long days, but man, and the second thing I'll say, idle time. Like, coaches waste so much time in training camp where there'll be an hour and a half before the next meeting. And it's just like, yo, we could wrap all of this up and be home by 5 if we just move everything up. But they just want you in the building all damn day. They know what they're doing with that.
Jason McCourty is with us, ESPN NFL analyst. All right. I've been trying to lay out exactly where I'm going to see the biggest impact of the coaching with the Giants in particular. And I want to start here, Jason, because we all know that talent eventually wins out, but the Giants were so bad against the run last year. How much of a difference can coaching make, especially when this is a team that traded away their best run defender?
I think it can make a big difference when it comes to scheme, mentality, how you're going about things. But I think not only coaching, like you got to get better players, or I won't even say better, different players that fit what you want to do. Like you go get Shelby Harris, DJ Reader. Like you're getting some other big guys to clog up the middle, Tremaine Edmonds at the linebacker spot. But I do think when you're talking about what a coach wants to accomplish and how he goes about doing it, Denard Wilson, who's kind of off of that Baltimore Ravens tree, was with Harbaugh there as well. What he was able to do with Jeffrey Simmons and Tavondre Sweat and linebackers running downhill and keeping them clean, like that's where you're hoping to get the progress. And then, two, like when you focus on something, it improves. So coming off of a season ago, like you said, when you struggled against the run, what do you think they're talking about all spring and all summer in training camp? It's instilling a different type of toughness, and that's what Harbaugh is going to want to do, winning up front on both sides of the ball.
Jaxson Dart, how close are we to having an answer if the Giants have their guy for the long term, or is Jaxson Dart the single most important development for this coming year, even over wins and losses?
Absolutely. I think the other day I was talking about, like, what does a successful season look like for Jaxson Dart? I think you learn how to slide. Like, I think that's probably number one. I think the second part of it is taking a huge step when it comes to leadership. And I think right away you saw the charisma that he has in the way the fans, his teammates, the entire city just gravitated towards him and what he brings as soon as he walks into a huddle or walks into a locker room. I think the next step of that is now you're learning how to be a pro quarterback and how you carry yourself. You understand the weight of your words before and after a game, and you start to figure out how to use them to motivate yourself, to motivate your teammates. Like, those are all the next steps of being a franchise quarterback and how you carry yourself, not only when you're out there on the field and it's 1st and 10 or it's 3rd and 2 and it's a huge part of the game, but also Monday through Saturday of how you're dealing with everything from the media to teammates to coaches. I think that's going to be a huge, huge leap that he needs to make. And you look at the coaches that are in the room, starting with John Harbaugh, but then just the experience they have. You have Matt Nagy as your offensive coordinator. You have Greg Roman, who was a coordinator. You have Brian Callahan, who was a coordinator. Like, you're going to have so many different touch points of showing you exactly how you're supposed to operate from other quarterbacks that they've worked with in their past.
Okay, so what would you as a teammate walking into training camp be looking for from him? Because there's a hint, and I'm just saying a hint of immaturity that's still there. It's nothing bad off the field, but there's still, is this guy not going to be all about the flash of being the Giants starting quarterback?
Yeah, it's so tough because I think you want to see the maturity, you want to see the growth from that standpoint. But as a teammate, for me, if I'm a veteran in that locker room, like, I don't want to remove who he is as a person, because part of that is what makes him good. Some of that flash and all of the way he carries himself, you want to still have that part in it. I just think it's the little things that you want to see in the middle of a training camp. A receiver runs the wrong route. How does he go out there and interject himself? Like, how are you pulling that guy along? Like, those are the different examples, I think, that come up throughout the course of it. Cam Scottaboo maybe does something crazy. He pulls him aside and just says something to him. It doesn't have to be this huge leaps and bounds, but from the start of training camp to the very end of training camp, you want to start to see the small things start to improve. If you're on the offensive side of the ball, coming in early, watching a little bit of film, pulling guys aside, staying in late, working on different routes, like, that's the maturity that you're going to want to see, because over time, that thing grows. And I think having Harbaugh as your head coach, the grizzly old veteran, like, you're going to see it grow, because he's going to implement things that forces these guys, not only Jaxson Dart, but the entire team, forces them to grow in that way.
Jason McCourty, ESPN NFL analyst, with us. I have been trying to make the case that the Jets at this point have a better roster than the Giants. Am I lost or am I a genius?
Man, I think
you can call
think
me
you-
an
I
idiot.
think
You've known me long enough to do that.
No, I think you have a hell of an argument. The truth of the matter is there's a lot of new pieces with the New York Jets, and you're looking at the talent and you're saying, yes, like they've improved a ton, but then it's a matter of, all right, how fast can that talent all come together and be able to make a difference? Because I think that's the big thing when you talk about being in the league, when you're kind of hitting reset and you're adding, where for the Jets, you look at on their defensive side of the ball, there's probably going to be 8 new starters or something to that point, 6 to 8 new starters that are going to be out there on the football field with a new system that now Aaron Glenn is implementing, a new offensive system with rookies that are going to have to show up and perform right away. Yes, on paper, man for man, you may see a better roster, but how fast can it come together? I think that's going to be the big thing for both of these teams. You got brand new coaching staffs and all of that. So I think the Jets, that offensive line is so good, and they've added weapons and so many veterans on that defensive side of the ball. You definitely have an argument in that.
Okay, for Geno then, do you expect to see closer to the Geno Smith of Seattle than Las Vegas?
I do. And maybe it's not all the way to that extent of how well he played in Seattle, but I called a few of the games last year in Vegas. The offensive line that Geno Smith will stand behind with the New York Jets, that alone is going to propel him to play at a higher level this year for the New York Jets. They were rotating. They had injuries on the offensive line last year in Vegas, and they were just going through guys. Trial and error. They fired their offensive coordinator in the middle of the season. They were never on the same page. So I think what he's walking into with the Jets, and you have a guy like Frank Reich who has done this thing and called plays in the league for a long time, has been a head coach in the NFL, you're giving Geno Smith, a veteran offensive coordinator with an offensive line and weapons around him. He has to be better than he was a year ago with Vegas, where other than Brock Bowers, they didn't really have anyone around him to be able to say, I can get the ball. Now he's going to have 2 tight ends to throw the ball to. Garrett Wilson is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, and some rookies that he can bring along. So I look forward to seeing a lot better version of Geno Smith this year.
All right, Jason, a couple of things just around the league. First of all, your personal biggest storylines here as we enter training camp. Give me the top 2 or 3.
I'd say Kansas City for me is a top storyline, seeing exactly who they are. Patrick Mahomes is healthy. We've always talked about this team as a Super Bowl contender. They only won 6 games last year and got hurt at the end of the season. They added Kenneth Walker Jr., but there was no extra wide receiver added to this depth chart. They're young on the defensive side of the ball. They're trying to revamp their secondary. Are they still a contender? Or is this kind of like the Patriots, where I think there was like 8 years in between of them getting back to the Super Bowl? Is this in the middle of their reset where they're still going to be a very good team, but not a true contender? Another one for me is Myles Garrett. I was his teammate in 2017, his rookie year, where we didn't win a single game. And now he has the only shot he's ever had at winning a Super Bowl. Are they actually going to do it? Like, everything on paper, you just feel like this is the Rams' year, but your mind tells you that it just doesn't work like that, and there has to be somebody else that's going to go out there and contend. And I'd say the last one for me is Philadelphia, man. Sean Mannion, the new offensive coordinator, has never called plays in the NFL before. They got rid of A.J. Brown, who's now in New England. Devontae Smith has to step up. They drafted Mekhi Lemon. Can Jalen Hurts go under center? There's so many storylines for a team and a head coach that has been so successful in the NFL in his first 5 years coaching, where his name is next to Belichick with winning percentages and Don Shula and all of these different guys. And yet, going into the season, we'll get the question, is Sirianni coaching for his job? I'm so intrigued to see what it looks like in Philadelphia to start this season and how fast this offense can start to click.
Would you want Jalen Hurts to be your quarterback from everything that we have seen?
I would. I spent so many years in the league losing. And if you can give me a guy, plain and simple, like 0-17, 0-16, 2-14, 3-13, you give me a guy that can win football games, I'll go to work with him. You give me a leader that's going to lift the guys around him, I'll go to work with him. We'll figure out the rest. But find me a guy that in every level he's played this game at, he's figured out how to win amidst a ton of change, offensive coordinators, chaos, and all the adversity that they've gone through, whether they've created or has been brought in from the outside. I'll roll with them any day.
Jason McCourty with us, one or two more here. The team in the AFC, there are one or two teams right now that I'm not going to say is going to surprise, but is going to be the biggest threat to get to the Super Bowl beyond what we'd expect from New England and Buffalo and such.
Yeah, I would say number one for me would be the Cincinnati Bengals. They didn't make the playoffs a year ago. Not only was Joe Burrow healthy, I think mentally with him, how fired up he's talked about this team when he's mentioned comparing them to the 2019 LSU team that won the national title. When you talk about adding Dexter Lawrence, who we talked about earlier, I think they're a legit team that has a shot. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars under Liam Cohen, I got a chance to spend 3 days out there during OTAs. He had some old guys come in and just be around the team. I think if Trevor Lawrence, he already has taken the league. We know what he's capable of physically. I think mentally, of him realizing, like, I am that good and I should be mentioned among some of the best quarterbacks in the AFC, I think Jacksonville can be a team coming out. Obviously, Houston with their defense, big question mark with C.J. Stroud and the Broncos as well. The Chargers, man, you talk about even storylines, Mike McDaniel, Jim Harbaugh, and Justin Herbert. Like, give me a reality TV show throughout the course of the season of just what every interaction is between those three guys, and I'm here for it. But I think Mike McDaniel is going to be a mastermind with what he's able to do with Amarian Hampton and Justin Herbert at the quarterback position. Like, they could be the best offense in the NFL with some of the weapons and the talent that they have.
All right, we know the Seahawks are obviously going to be right there again. You've mentioned the Rams. Is it one of those two teams to win the NFC?
I believe so. I think Philly is still there. I think Chicago, I don't think that was a one-year wonder. Detroit will be back relevant. I think they're going to be in the playoff picture. Who knows what Kyler Murray is going to look like in Minnesota, but it's hard. Like, we were talking about in the Rams, as much as I want to find another team and just say, all right, this team is going to be the surprise, it's going to take a lot to beat the Rams. Like, we've talked a ton about the Dallas Cowboys and the defensive changes they've made and obviously how good they are on the offensive side of the ball. And I remember last year saying if the Cowboys could just get to middle of the pack on defense, like they'll be contenders right in the NFC. I don't know if that's still true with some of the moves that some of these teams have made, the Rams and the Seahawks. So to me, those would go with my teams, but it's going to be competitive. There's going to be some other teams that surprise us and step up, and we're going to be talking about them at the end of December going into January.
J-Mac, you're the best. Appreciate a few minutes, man.
Oh, anytime, man. Good to talk to you.
You too. Jason McCourty, ESPN NFL analyst, joining us. It's Carlin on ESPN New York and on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. In 15 minutes, we will dive deeper into the Jets with Rich Cimini, who, of course, covers him for ESPN New York and ESPN NFL Nation. So maybe I'm not an idiot. I mean, well, I'm an idiot, but maybe I'm not an idiot in this particular case when it comes to the Jets having a better roster than the Giants. 800-919-3776. And this is what I'm really having a lot of trouble with. I get it. I understand where people are coming from in the belief of John Harbaugh and his ability to walk in the door and have an immediate impact on how good the Giants can be right now. But is that just based out of what we've seen in the past and that new coach bounce and a team that was so lost last year, so lost in what they were doing, had no idea how to stop the run at all, and beyond Jaxson Dart and his development in year one, still not being able to stay healthy enough. I don't know where the Giants got markedly better on the roster. I think they got better with Arvell Reese and Francis Mauigoa. I think those are two good young players, but they're rookies. Malachi Fields is a good receiver, but he's a rookie. Are the Giants better in the secondary? You can't tell me that. Where exactly are the Giants definitively a better team roster-wise than the Jets? I mean, we went through the quarterback argument earlier, and if you want to have me believe that Dart is better than Geno Smith, you can do that. I can't put here a massive argument against you because Geno is coming off of what he has come off, and Unfortunately, we've also seen Geno in New York before, and we know what that looks like. So was it just that he was in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle where there's not nearly as much pressure as there would be here when he was around with the Jets the first time? Or is it just, he's going to be in a better situation to be successful this year? Well, I think he is. And that's why I look at the Jets roster up and down. I already believe that they have a very good offensive line. They have signed Breece Hall for the long term. They have a better running back than the Giants do. Please don't bother otherwise, okay? We know the Jets have the advantage there. Jets have the advantage at wide receiver, I think, with Wilson. I mean, the Giants losing Wan'Dale Robinson. I'm not going to try to sell you on Adonai Mitchell yet, but Omar Cooper Jr. is a really good young receiver. And the Giants, we don't know where they are with Malik Neighbors. That's really why I put them behind the Jets at that position group. We don't know where they are with Malik Neighbors right now. I'm not even worried remotely about when Neighbors is going to be back. If you tell me he's not back week 1, okay. Is he back week 3? Hopefully. Hopefully he doesn't start the year on IR. I don't think you have to stay on IR for the whole year now if you start the year on IR, but you get the point. Hopefully, if he's sidelined a couple of games, that's not a big deal. I'm just a lot more concerned about what he looks like when he does actually come back. Is he that same dynamic player that they drafted? Because I have to tell you, when they drafted him, there were a lot of people that felt that he was the best overall player in the draft last year, let alone being the best wide receiver. There were plenty of coaches who were thrilled to see him out of college football. I can tell you that. The Jets' offensive line, is it better? I would kind of argue, yes. I know that Jordan said that John Michael Schmitz took, a little bit of a step last year. I still don't think he's a great center. And if I'm going to be truthful about it, Maui Noah inside, I think will be good. Don't know for sure. Still a rookie. Illuminor played well outside. The tackles are really good. But overall, do the Jets have the advantage at the position group? I think they probably do. The Jets' tackles are pretty darn good, too. And Tippmann and Myers inside, they just gave Tippmann a hefty extension. Defensively, why wouldn't I think that the Jets have a better group from a talent standpoint? Up front, certainly. They have gotten much, much bigger with Tavondre Sweat, with Onyemata, Jawan Briggs. The Giants couldn't stop the run either last year. The Jets weren't very good at it, but the Giants were worse. Worse. The Jets still have pass rushers to work with. I don't know that Bailey's going to be great, but Will McDonald is as established as Abdul Carter or Kayvon Thibodeau is at this point. Yes or no? And the Jets added Osai and Enikbari. Here's the point. I can go up and down, and you can't convince me that the Jets don't have a better roster. I think the Giants have a couple of advantages in some spots, but overall, I'd want to go to war with the Jets roster than with the Giants roster right now. Having said that, the coach is where that biggest difference is going to be, and the coach is where the Giants have the biggest advantage with John Harbaugh over Aaron Glenn, because as much as I want to see Aaron Glenn do really well, last year was a nightmare, year one for him, a nightmare. And he did nothing to really establish himself as someone that should be taken seriously as a great head coaching possibility in the future. Nothing. Dave in the car phone is up next on ESPN New York. Dave, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
Hey, what's up? I want to get your take on something.
Go.
I think that everything being new, right, is something that as a professional, especially in the NFL, sometimes things when they're new don't always work out right out the gate. So let's look at it for what it is. To me, this is Jaxson Dart's official first year in the NFL. He's the starter. When he was drafted, it was apparently reckless running, getting the ball into tight windows, driving the ball downfield, and could he adapt to a pro-style offense? Now he's in his second year. He has a new coach and a whole new system to learn. Not everybody can be like Dak Prescott. When Dak Prescott plays a full season, you can give him any offense you want. He puts up MVP-type numbers. Also, is Jaxson Dart and Scatterbo in a full season under this coach? Are they going to be able to handle the type of pressure that's coming down the pike now? Because we saw how they look with a sloppy organization. How are you going to perform in New York, right, under an organization that actually has their ship wired tight right now? Ship, S-H-I-P. Not
yeah, I know. I was about to say. Off. Yeah, I knew you said ship.
Right. So here's the thing. This is what I mean when the Giant fans are pumping everything up. There's so many variables here. You know, like there's so many variables going on with this team. And with Harbaugh, again, I know people are going to say he won with Flacco. Here's a stat for you. Anytime that Jackson ran for over 65 yards, the Ravens were 40-6. You know what Harbaugh's known for? If you look him up historically, he's known for being a very smash-mouth football team, going into the trenches and building a very tough team. So you have Lamar Jackson giving you 40-6 with over 65 yards, yet your mentality never changed over that time. So suppose Lamar, I'm going to say it again for the umpteenth time, if Lamar Jackson wins the Super Bowl and the Giants win no more than 4 games, Harbaugh should be on the hot seat year one. What are your thoughts?
I don't think it'll be year one, but I get the sentiment. I don't know that Lamar Jackson was held back by Harbaugh. I personally believe Lamar Jackson is going to win a Super Bowl as a quarterback. I do believe that. But if he wins it this year and the Giants win no more than 4 games, is Harbaugh going to be on the hot seat? He's not. And there's 2 primary reasons. Number one, he's running the organization right now. They have handed the reins to him, and it's year one of whatever it is, a 5-year deal, whatever, at huge money, $20 million a year. So he's not going to be on the hot seat there. And you would also point to the fact that the Giants have just run through coaches left and right and have been making coaching changes every couple of years as it is, and that is far from what they want to be. I mean, you go from the beginning of Parcells through Tom Coughlin in 2015. Giants had 5 coaches over that stretch, I think. 5 coaches over a 30-plus year stretch. And how many have they had since 2015? See my point? They're not going to want to continue to be that organization, and that's why they brought Harbaugh here in the first place. So while I understand what you're trying to say, that if Lamar can prove that he was being held back by Harbaugh by going and winning the Super Bowl, that Harbaugh should immediately be on the hot seat, I don't see that. I do not see that. We shift to the Jets in moments on ESPN New York.
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. KarlinCars.com/880.
One 877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Miller time. People think it just happens, but that's not true. You know what you gotta do? You gotta go say hello with some beers. Make the plans. Forget the couch. Go to that thing. Play the game. See them in person. Talk to that stranger. Live a little. Small acts of rebellion that bring us together. Because legendary moments start with a light. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2026 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hi, this is Don LaGreca. Just like the New Jersey Devils bring intensity on the ice, Viking Pest Control brings the same level of protection to your home. And I know because I use Viking at my own place. The season may be over, but pests are always in play. So it's time to lock in your off-season defense. As the pest control provider and proud partner of the Devils, Viking delivers 45 years of trusted experience to keep ants, cockroaches, stinging insects, rodents, mosquitoes, and more out of your zone. And when you bundle pest control mosquito services, you score big savings. One call, one company, total peace of mind. Visit VikingPest.com, protecting your home inside and out.
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Rick doesn't have a primary care doctor. I don't think Alan does either. That doesn't make it any better for you. I actually think we use the same pediatrician. Alan's in his mid-50s. If you met this pediatrician, you would get rid of your primary care physician and use my pediatrician. He's that good. Do you know what the definition of pediatrician is? Doesn't matter. He's not equipped at the spleen.
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
You walk out with a lollipop?
Morning Start with DiPietro and Rothenberg. Weekdays from 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Drip Drop is doctor-developed, proven fast hydration that helps your body and mind work better. Trusted by firefighters, medical professionals, and over 90% of top college and pro sports teams. Drip Drop is engineered to hydrate faster and more effectively than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. Stock up now at dripdrop.com and use promo code RADIO20 for 20% off your first order. That's dripdrop.com, promo code RADIO20.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as... That's 888-665-0696.
Clear some space in the rafters at MSG. A new banner is coming to the Garden.
Tonight, we play like we wanted to go home champions. To finish the game. Not to start the game. To finish the game, it means the world to me to go in that court with those guys. Whatever environment we're in, home or away, doesn't matter for us.
To have the fans that we have in New York City and be able to bring home a championship after all these years is absolutely amazing.
ESPN New York is your home for the world champion New York Knicks.
Carlin, ESPN New York YouTube channel. Jets training camp opening up, of course, shortly. Rich Cimini, ESPN New York and ESPN NFL Nation joining us right now. Richard, it is good to speak to you again. We are once again upon it. How are you?
Hey, Chris, good to be with you. It's been a long time, probably since the draft, but yeah, looking forward to this. And they start on Tuesday. Players are reporting Tuesday afternoon.
Okay, so let's just get right to it. what's reasonable to expect from Geno Smith this year when we have two so different players that we've seen between Vegas? We know what the challenges were there, and Seattle, and we knew what the advantages were there. What is reasonable to expect?
Yeah, I would say somewhere in between, because I wrote about this morning in our ESPN.com training camp preview. Which version are the Jets getting, the Seattle version or the Vegas version? I mean, for 20 and 22 and 23, he was a good quarterback. He was a good starting quarterback. 50 touchdowns, 22 interceptions over those 2 years is a pretty impressive TD interception ratio. But the last couple of years, not great, especially last year, leading the league in interceptions. I think it was somewhat due to a dysfunctional situation there in Vegas. They fired Chip Kelly during the year, the coaching staff gone at the end of 1 year. A lot of moving parts, some injuries. So it was a really tough situation. So you give him a little bit of a pass on that. But I don't think he'll get back to what he was in Seattle. So I think somewhere in between. And look, if the Jets could get these average quarterback play out of their starting quarterback, which would be something they haven't had in a while, I think they would consider that a win for Geno Smith.
I think you would feel like it would be a big win, especially when we're all expecting what we're expecting from the skill positions here. What would you consider the Jets' strength to be on offense?
I would say they're running backs for sure. In the potential for the running game. They did run the ball reasonably well last year. I mean, it's one of the few things they actually did well in a 3-14 season. But they are deep at running back. You got a happy and a refreshed Breece Hall coming off a season, a 1,000-yard year with a new contract in hand. $15 million a year. So good for him. And they have a healthy Braylon Allen behind him, and Isaiah Davis, who I think people are sleeping on, is a good running back who will be in the mix. So I think, and an offensive line that returns 4 out of 5 starters. So I think that's where it all starts. That's what they want to do. Frank Reich even said it in the offseason. They want to be a run-oriented team, and they should be. When you have talent like that and you have a quarterback who struggles with interceptions, you definitely want to run the ball to protect your quarterback.
Okay, with that in mind, how do they have to worry about handling Garrett Wilson at some point? Because we know what his frustrations were with Aaron Rodgers a couple of years ago, and you want to make sure that you're keeping that guy happy even though you have already paid him.
Yeah, I mean, we all know he didn't see eye to eye with Rodgers. That was pretty apparent in the moment, and we've learned since then that they didn't. But he also put up pretty good numbers that year, Garrett Wilson.
They weren't bad. I mean, it's over 1,000 yards, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, career numbers for him. Of course, last year, an abbreviated season because of the knee injury. He's going to get his touches. He is the clearly, it's not even close, the number one receiving target that they have. So he's going to have to deal with some double coverage. That's going to be part of it, and he's going to have to adjust his game to try to beat some, shaded coverages, some safeties over the top. That's just part of it. They're going to have to develop a number 2 pass option to take some of the pressure off Wilson. But I think Wilson at this point, I think he just wants to win. I really think after going through 4 years, of losing and then the injury last year, I think he just wants to win. So I think he will keep his frustrations to a minimum if the team can actually win football games.
Rich Cimini, ESPN NFL Nation, covering the Jets. And, of course, Rich covers the Jets for us. So as you start to look on the defensive side with Aaron Glenn, how big of a challenge will this be for him when we know what his struggles were as a coach in year one to now have this added responsibility of being the coordinator?
Yeah, it's definitely a question. I mean, he had trouble wearing one hat last year. Now he's wearing 2 hats. He's going to have to manage the game as the head coach. We all know there was some hiccups last year in that area, and now he's calling the defense. He did say at the scouting combine that calling plays on defense is his superpower. I think he was referring to – I know he got a lot of grief for that quote. He was referring back to his last 2 years in Detroit where he was calling the plays. But now he's going to have to do that, manage the defense, manage the game. So it's a lot of added responsibility. That'll be one of the storylines early in the season for sure. I think he's going to be definitely relying on the defensive coordinator to do some stuff. But when it comes right down to it, it's going to be, it's going to be Glenn calling the plays for a defense that will have a pretty different look this year. And I think one of the reasons they brought in a lot of older veteran-type guys like Demario Davis and Minka Fitzpatrick, David Onyemata, to take some of the pressure off of Glenn. I think you got a guy in Davis who could make, calls on the field, make adjustments. He's been around the block several times. We know that. Demario's 37. So I think he feels comfortable with that relationship, and that should take some of the burden off of Aaron Glenn.
For Aaron, though, we all know what happened last year, but I'm curious as to how the team still responds and looks at Aaron Glenn. What do you think that relationship is like, team to head coach right now?
Yeah, I think it was strong last year, and I know some Jet fans might be, recoiling in, horror thinking about that, but it's true. I mean, I talked to most of the players last year, even during the off season, on and off the record, and they really like Aaron Glenn as their coach. I think there's a respect factor there. I think they like the way he treats them. I think the fact that he's a former player, a former really good player, resonates with the players in the locker room. And so I still think he has the backing of the locker room. Now, look, if they start 0-7 again or something similar to that, it could go sideways, with that relationship. But right now, I think the players believe in him, and he's just got to do some, like game day. He's got to clean up some stuff on game day, which we've alluded to just a couple of minutes ago.
You gave a couple of your players to watch, guys that you've talked about. Obviously, David Bailey, the number 2 overall pick in the draft. Who else are you looking at, though, to be guys that we really need to pay attention to this season as far as making a jump?
Well, I mean, I think Jet fans are mostly interested in these rookies. This is potentially a really good rookie class with Bailey and Kenyon Sadiq and Omar Cooper Jr. and D'Angelo Pons. Those are top 50 picks who all will be playing prominent roles this year. And I think those are the guys you want to watch through training camp. Cade Klubnik, I guess we could throw him on there. He's obviously not going to start the season, but I think it'll be really interesting to gauge his progression in training camp. Of course, he missed the last 2 weeks of OTAs with a stiff back. I assume he'll be ready to go next week. So that'll be something to watch. I think he has a chance to win the number 2 job. I think it's there for him if he plays really well in the preseason. So I think that's what Jet fans should hang their hat on, is just the development of these young guys, because the team, look, they'll probably win 6 or 7 games, but if these young guys could really come in like a David Bailey and be difference makers right away, I think then you're looking at a higher ceiling for this team this year.
Do you have your training camp uniform ready to go, which for those who may not remember, Rich, in our conversation last year, training camp uniform, beat reporter, would be no-show socks, sneakers, maybe cargo shorts, polo shirt. Fair to say?
You describe my wardrobe to a T, Chris. That's
you throw
not
on
only
a
mine,
bucket
but every
hat.
sports. Yeah, you get the. I'm more the baseball cap kind of guy.
Okay.
But you got to be wearing stuff you're comfortable in, and that's the sports writer attire. I mean, you're standing out in the heat for 2.5 hours watching practice, and let's face it, not all of practice is that interesting. They're doing calisthenics and some pretty, basic drills, but you have to be out there just in case someone pulls a muscle. I mean, look, Justin Fields got hurt on it was definitely the first day of practice last year. It might have been one of the first series of practice, with the toe injury. And so you got to be out there and you got to be comfortable.
And you got to be comfortable and you got to be spry. You got to be ready to spring into action.
at a moment's notice. So I will be going with that particular attire you just described.
And I look forward to seeing it, Rich. Thanks again, and we will talk soon for sure.
All right, Chris. Always a pleasure. Catch up with you soon.
Rich Cimini, ESPN, NFL Nation, covering the Jets. When I did it with the Giants, that is absolutely the look, and Rich is not joking. You stand around a lot, and this is not a complaint, but you stand around a lot in the heat outside. You're hoping to get some interviews after lunch at the particular time when the Giants were in Albany. And then you're just watching practice, and that was still in the time of two-a-days. You're just watching practice And really all you're there to do is to make sure you don't miss anything. That's it. 800-919-3776. You know, I hate to say it. I'm going to sound like a giant hater, but I'm not. Like, 6 is a number that they may not hit this year. And I'm not the only one who thinks this way. Carlin, ESPN New York.
Summer's here. People are outside walking more, traveling, going to games, barbecues, the beach, just enjoying life. But if you have joint pain, sciatica, or back pain is still holding you back, you don't have to live like that. I'm Bart Scott, and Dr. J. Shaw at Sandwell Pain is the real deal. Ivy League trained, double board certified with non-surgical treatments that get real results. No cuts, no downtime, no pain medications, just a smart, targeted approach that gets you moving again. Same day or next day appointments are available. Go to SandwellPain.com. Don't let pain steal your summer.
D'Agostino Law Bite Back. This is John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates. Did you know Social Security takes money out of every paycheck you earn, paycheck after paycheck, and you're not supposed to touch that money until you're 67? What if you can't work? What if you need that money now? The system is challenging and most people get denied. That's a fact. D'Agostino & Associates has the experience to win, and we win a lot. If you filed for Social Security disability benefits and were denied, let us appeal. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. Bite Back means fight back. 1-800-248-3222. We'll fight to get you paid. D'Agostino & Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and handles Social Security disability claims and appeals. Remember, if you've been denied, call us first. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. D'Agostino & Associates. We win a lot.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
There are a million reasons to love New York. Making your budget stretch isn't one of them. According to an independent study, Amazon prices average 14% lower than other retailers. Get food, fashion, furniture, and more shipped straight to your building. That's how Prime members have saved over $2 billion on grocery and household items. Learn more at aboutamazon.com.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46, and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the Michael K. Show.
You might all disagree with me on this. 7th game of the World Series. The Yankees have to win to be champions. Every single one of their starting pitching is available. I could choose between Garrett Cole, a former Cy Young Award winner. I could choose between Max Fried, Carlos Rodón, Will Warren, Ryan Weathers, or Cam Schlittler. There's one guy on the staff that's dominant and great, and that's Schlittler.
The Michael K. Show, weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. Presented by the Parisman Firm.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off. And you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
I'm not doing this strictly, schedule thing, okay? I'm not doing that completely here. I just don't see where it's an 8-9 win team this year. I'm having trouble with it. It's Carlin, ESPN New York, 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. If you're looking at the Giants roster and just going based on that, I'm telling you I have no reason to believe that they have a better roster than the Jets do at this point. No reason whatsoever. If you gave me the choice to go to war with one of the two, I would absolutely go to war with the Jets right now. And I know that, that is a sentence that I never thought I would be uttering under any circumstances. But it's true. It's absolutely true. But then you go and you take a look, and I'm just going to do this for a moment. The Giants' schedule. I'm not the only one that thinks this way. If I asked you the question, and Ray, I will ask you this question. How many games of the coming season, without just knowing off the top of your head what the schedule is, but just generally speaking, how many games would you think that right now the Giants are favored in on their schedule in a year before we even hit training camp? What do you think that number is?
Ooh, favored in. I was ready to say that I think that their floor might be 6 games unless they play, poorly. But now we're talking about favored.
And I'll just to remind you that Tennessee and Arizona are in the first 4 games.
I'm going to say they're at 5 games where they're favored.
You hit it exactly on the head. The Giants are only favored in 5 games this season. Now, the spreads themselves, we know, for instance, with Washington in week 5, that the Giants are on the road in Washington and they're a slight underdog, which means on a neutral field, they would probably be favored against Washington. But we're assuming there's a healthy Jaden Daniels. Now, we need to make the assumption that Washington, I can't sit here and tell you they're definitively going to beat the Giants twice. I can't do that because I'm not going to say that they are what they were when they went to the NFC Championship game a couple of years ago. But just very quickly, okay? Dallas, at Los Angeles, Tennessee, and Arizona. Obviously favored in Tennessee and Arizona. Both of those games at home. At Washington, slight dog. New Orleans at home, favored. On the road at Houston, dog. At Philly, dog. Washington at home, slight favored. Jacksonville, dog. At Indianapolis, dog. San Francisco, dog. At Seattle, dog. Cleveland at home, slight favorite. At Detroit, at Dallas, Philadelphia. That's 5. That's 5, guys. Are you happy if the Giants win 6 games? It's supposed to be the big coaching bounce year 1. Maybe I'm underselling, but how exactly are the Giants winning 7, 8, 9 games? Please explain that. You got a few minutes to do so at 800-919-3776. How exactly is that happening? I mean, it's absolutely absurd to think that they can win 7, 8, 9 games. Now, Wingman makes an excellent point on the YouTube chat. Didn't people learn from last season with the Jets when people were asking, maybe they can win 7, 8, 9 games? How did that turn out? Yes, and I am one of the dopes, Wingman, who absolutely believed that last year. But could you tell me where exactly they are that much better? you're going to tell me that they're absolutely going to split with Dallas. How can I say that when Dak Prescott has owned your ass, has owned you? Owned you. They're going to split with Philadelphia? I don't know about that. I don't think so. Philly might be having some questions of their own, but why would I think that? Split with Washington? Okay, sure. I'll give you Tennessee. I'll give you Arizona. I'll give you New Orleans at home, even though New Orleans was a lot better than people expected them to be last year. And they seem to believe that they have their quarterback in tow and ready to go with Tyler Shuck. So maybe I'm being a little too generous at that point. But New Orleans won 6 games last year and won 4 in a row in December. And you could say, well, it didn't mean much, but that's fine. They were making progress. The Giants were a top 5 bad team this past year. You hired the right coach. And over the long haul, that's going to be a really good thing. But don't buy in immediately, because I think you might be asking for a little trouble if you're expecting 8 or 9. Craig, up on ESPN New York. Craig, what's going on, bud?
Hey, what's happening, man? I had to take a break from my lunch just to call in, because here's the reason why you can be optimistic about the Giants. His name's Denard Wilson. He turned in a number 2 defense a couple years ago with no Pro Bowlers whatsoever. He had an alternate in Simmons, but that was it. And then if you look at what he's got up front, you got all kinds of reasons to be optimistic. They've got a ton of first-round draft picks, high first-round draft picks on that defensive line. He's going to have a field day, and he's going to have fun because he's going to have a lot of talent versus what he had in Tennessee.
Okay, hang on a second. One sec, though.
Okay.
And I'm not shooting down the argument altogether. We're talking about high first-round picks on the defensive line and pass rush. How's that working out for you right now? Because Abdul Carter showed a lot of immaturity last year, and I'm not writing him off. And Kayvon Thibodeau has not been anywhere near what they expected him to be when they took him 5th overall.
All right, well, that's what I'm saying. The new variable is Denard Wilson. Then you look at Aaron Glenn, who everybody – he's the play-calling wizard. Are you kidding me? Here's his defenses in Detroit, 19th, 20th, 32nd, and 28th. He never had a defense in the top half of the league. Not one time, but yet he's some kind of wizard on defense. So I
don't buy into the whole Aaron Glenn superpower is play calling. When I talk about the Jets versus the Giants right now, I'm strictly talking about roster, okay? Now, if you want to say that the Giants can be better because the coaching is going to be better, I have no problem with you wanting to believe in that, because we've seen it many, many times where you get the bounce with the new head coach, especially somebody who is established like John Harbaugh. But at the same time, don't try to sell me that the Giants' talent is better than the Jets' talent, because it's not. I mean, I even asked that to Jason McCourty earlier, and I said, am I an idiot or am I a genius? And he didn't say I was a genius, but he said I might have a point or an argument. At the very least, didn't call me an idiot. That's a win for me. Jake Asman. Boy, I said that loud. Jake Asman is coming up next. He has got Alex Day, the New York sports content creator, influencer, coming in studio, hanging out with him. In for the K-Stir, it is Carlin on ESPN New York. Later on this afternoon, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. By the way, happy birthday, Peter Rosenberg. Wow. Amazing. 58. He looks great, doesn't he? God. That coloring in that beard is doing a phenomenal job. 58 years old, Peter Rosenberg today. Have a day. Have a day, buddy boy.
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything.